But the bum bum bum. But the bum bum bum. Do 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 bum bum bum. Do the bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. A joke. Can you put a free emote Copio and Joms, please? No. If you wanted a Joms, you gotta pay. You're interrupting the Argentina match. Can you stream later? Thanks. Don't cry for me. Worth the Joms. Worth the Joms. Okay, I set my link out. My windows are set up. How is the sound? I guess we'll do another check when we get into the game. But I think I had to turn it up for Forgotten City, didn't I? So how's the sound? How's it going, Artex Slow? Overall. Hello, Joe. Could we beg a small donation of an enemy marble towards the imminent Jad's Marbles giveaway? Yeah, sure. Go for it. There was also a marble given away on Saturday's stream for someone who went onto the Wikipedia gotcha and pulled Moncton in their first round of pulls. A 1 in a 7 million chance, something like that. Wow, what did they pick? Some weep shit. Can you add the greater good at the end of every other Strongheart sentence? The greater good, crusty jugglers, great big bushy beard. Hey Joe, can I be a moderator now? Also, can I have my mod marble? You can be a moderator, sure. Mod Avarici. There you go, you're a mod. We grant you the title of mod, but we do not bestow on you a marble. FSR4 is official support for RND 3 cards. Time to buy AMD. I have no idea what these words mean, sorry. Just finished Murder Dog 4, Trial of the Murder Dog. Any thoughts? Really kept you guessing right to the end, I gotta say. It was back and forth. Or bark and forth, yeah. You know, I don't want to spoil it, but it was definitely worth it. I thought after episode 3 that they weren't going to be able to pull it around. But man, they really tugged on a leash for part 4. Yep. Did you claim your free Mr. Beast 3000? Yeah, I did not. No. I currently don't have access to my bank account, so if Mr. Beast wants to airlift me $3,000, I will accept. Sure. What? I told you last time. The ATM destroyed my card, so I have to wait for a new one to get here. It should be here tomorrow. Don't you do online banking, sir? I do, but it's, they told me that was frozen too until I got the card. And also I need the card number to log in. I could probably set up to use a different login, but I just used the card number. I think even without it, I think they told me, yeah, everything was frozen. Everything is just as a safety feature, just in case, you know, someone finds the card. Which is, you know, wild considering how it got lost, but yeah. And you're absolutely sure they were from the bank? What do you mean? It was an ATM that I lost the card to, and then I called the number on the back of another card that I have from them and double checked it online too to get the right number. Like, yeah. Modern banks can print a new card on the spot in 3 minutes. I called them and they said, you know, you can go into a branch, and I was like, no, just mail it just in case something bad happens. It's not a problem. Like I have enough cash that I can be fine. The prepper in me makes me sure that I'm prepared for these sorts of things. I'm so cooked that whenever I go somewhere to buy something, even if I'm going to use my card, I also take usually enough cash, if not almost enough cash, to cover all of it, just in case the card doesn't work. Kind of defeating the purpose of even using the fucking card. And twice now it's worked out. Once for no reason at all, my card didn't work when I was Christmas shopping, and this time it probably happened a couple times before that too. But yeah, this time, yeah, I was going to the grocery store and it ate my card, but I had cash on me, so I was able to get what I needed from the grocery store. The weirdest part of the story is that the next guy put his card in and got back out, implying your card is being stored in some weird inside space of the ATM. I would have thought ATMs wouldn't have storage space for cards. I don't think it's being stored. I think the card had the top of the card was broken. It was kind of like a flap was on it that you can move around. There was a cut in the top of the card that was only like a third of the way through it, so you can move it. So my guess is that the card went in. It failed to read because it was already getting kind of messed up. Like I said, the tap function wasn't working on anymore, so I needed a new one anyway. So it went in. And it can't read, and then they tried to eject it, and then whatever that flap got caught on something, and it just went error. Fuck it, this is gonna get clogged. Clear the whole system, and because I think ATMs have the capacity to shred cards, don't they? Like, otherwise people would fuck with them. My guess is it got caught. ATMs have a retainer tray where they put cards that are rejected. In inside or outside? There was nothing like that on the outside of the machine. I checked the whole thing and I hit every button. I was even like desperately like touching the touchscreen even though there was no things on it, being like do 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 do, and just nothing happened. It went on shredder mode, yeah, and started shredding everything. It shredded all over the place. Bum bum, bada bum bum bum, bada bum bum bum, bada bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. It's required to reject it for a reason, B, if it's broken or reported as stolen. I don't think it said it couldn't read it. It didn't say like fraud detected or account suspended or anything like that. And then when I called the bank, there was nothing. Like he was just like, oh yes, I also knew another card. So I don't know what happened. Yeah, weird. It's my birthday in game. It is Gatsby's birthday outside of game today. Gatsby turned 6. It's the big shit's birthday. Happy birthday again, Gatsby. 6-year-old pup. Happy birthday, Gatsby. Happy birthday, Gatsby. He's a big boy. 2nd November, 8:56 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. 35 gift subs for Gatsby? Wow. Happy birthday, Gatsby. Anyway, sorry that we're late. When I said that we're going to do a Monday stream, I forgot that there was an appointment scheduled for around the time that it started. I'm surprised that we're here this early, actually. I thought we might not be able to start until 3. So we are going to be streaming for about 4 hours today, and then I will do a normal stream tomorrow, and then after that we will reassess how much of the game is left. And if Errol tells me that we're gonna have to haul ass to get it done for the rest of the week, then we'll probably start earlier on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get it done. And if need be, we'll even skip fan art on Friday to see if we can get this finished. Or maybe we'll have to keep the yapping to a minimum. And if you'll forgive me, I need to take my socks off. I'm wearing thick socks, and it's very, very it's very hot here. Do your socks match? Yes, my socks do match. So I am the one who's decided to have sex. I can't put my air conditioner on right now because I have the dishwasher and the laundry going, and I feel like, knowing my luck in the past couple weeks, that'll somehow blow the circuit of the apartment. So I'm not risking it. I'll just wait for one of them to be done. What the it almost certainly wouldn't. I think I've had all 3 of them running at the same time, but like I just don't want to do it today. It's what's after the Great Ace Attorney? 007 First Light. I think we're just starting that next week. Did you get something for Gatsby, Joe? Not yet. I will get him. I'll get him a special treat soon. Not yet. Bad puppy owner. I also didn't realize it was Father's Day yesterday until I went and saw the kids, and then when I opened the door, they said Happy Father's Day. So. Yeah. Hold on, let me go to history here. Tad late as I had things come up, but now I'm back caught up. I'd like to apologize calling you garbage with a misquoted Bill Wirtz line. Should have called myself garbage instead. In future, I promise to avoid such misquotes. I didn't take it that you were calling me garbage. I just didn't understand. I remember this. Yeah, I remember reading this out loud, being confused. Yeah. I figured it was not directed at me, or maybe it wasn't directed at anyone, but it was kind of weird to see it. I think you're more likely to end up in a situation where you have free time on Friday and early, yap, or read the escapades in the extras, mini vignettes in between in case first game, but who knows? Okay, cool. All right, we should be fine then. Is Dispatch still on the schedule? I haven't followed much news. We'll be doing it soon, TM, but like, there's a lot of games that we need to be doing soon, TM. Unfortunately, we also need to be making sure that we have room to start Great Theft Auto, Grand Theft Auto 6 when it comes out. I would also like to not be too behind on the fact that we need to play Final Fantasy 7 Remake for Game of the Year nominations next year, which we'll most certainly get nominated for. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Did you receive a gift for Father's Day? No, just they made me some cards, and you know, it's not that level yet. Like, they're kids. I honestly also don't really give a shit. Like, it's for them, and they're too young to understand, I guess. Like, I don't care. Maybe when I'm older I will care, but I don't care. I don't have parents myself, so I don't really go in for that sort of thing. So, you know, I haven't had parents in ages now. Like, have I lived longer now without parents than I did with them? I haven't seen my dad since I was 18. I'm 40, famously so. I haven't seen my dad since I was 18. I moved out in my own place when I was 18, 19. I can't really remember, it was around then. I barely spoke to my mother after that, and then my mother kind of died when I was 23, 24, and then she properly died a couple years later. She had a brain aneurysm, and she was pretty much a like a non-person after that. Like she couldn't walk, she couldn't talk, you know, that sort of thing. So I don't know. I barely spoke to her after moving out until then. I spoke to my dad on the phone like once in my 20s, I think when I was around 21, and that was the last time I spoke to him. I think I would say it probably qualifies. Like I've had no parents longer than I had parents. Kind of, it's her fault. She smoked. Didn't want a brain aneurysm. She just smoked. You're my online father figures. Happy Father's Day, Joe. Fuck, that's terrifying. Oh shit. Do I need to start talking about lobsters? Like, be glad you're not RT. What does RT have does RT go in for the dad role model thing? Can we get a McDo, Joe? I don't know what McDo is. You're my online gym bro figure, dude. When's Happy Gym Bro Day? Tomorrow is Happy Gym Bro Day. We just decided it's tomorrow. 2 days after Dad's Day is Gym Bro Day. I think most dads don't really want anything for Father's Day. John Oliver actually did a week on this week, where he showed all kinds of fragments of news anchors talking about Father's Day. And basically all the fathers didn't want any wishes and didn't care about it. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is just how... This is the part of society that maybe isn't fair to men, is that, you know, men have to be brought up to be more stoic, don't show too much emotion, be providers instead of receivers, blah, 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 blah. And I think that there is some truth to that, but when it comes to like celebrating fatherhood, I think a lot of fathers is kind of like, this does not compute. I would rather do something for the kids than receive something from the kids on Father's Day. I took the kids out for ice cream last night, you know, that sort of thing. One of those masculinity things where being appreciated so rare makes you uncomfortable. Kinda, yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's so dire that men are always unappreciated. I wouldn't go that far. I'm not that old yet. I'm in the manicube. I'm not in the manosphere yet. I haven't been pared down into the sphere. I'm not there yet. But I think it's somewhat in that area, yeah. Finally becomes Monokuma. Manocube. You will transition for Pride Month. From cube to sphere? You can make your own manosphere. 2 balls. Manospheres! Ooh, we have 2 balls instead of 1. Damn. We need a compilation of all the advocacy with the side of Imagine Dragons. Do you see the price for Steam machines? Video games are over, I think. I did not see the price of the Steam machines. No, how much are they? As a dad, I made sure to both do stuff with the kids and accept a few things. It can feel like a thankless job when you're doing it right. Parenting in general is a thankless job most of the time. I don't know. I'm still like a young parent. Like my oldest child is about to turn 11, so I don't know what it's like to be a parent when your kids are adults. Like maybe at that point they will appreciate things. Like I just went on and spoke about like how I don't have any contact with my dad because he fucked off the whales, and I don't have any contact with my mom because she's dead. And even with like, I think they did a really pretty bad job, like all things told, and I still appreciate some things that they did looking back, you know? So like it wouldn't all be bad if I had a conversation with them. I'd be like, yeah, you know, like you fucked this up, but you know, I appreciate that. So like, I don't know what it's like. Maybe the being thanked comes later, but at this stage, I don't think I need to be thanked. Like I'm the one who chose to bring these kids into existence, right? So I have full responsibility for everything that ever happens to them ever. That's a healthy outlook, isn't it? Like any pain they go through is my fault, really. So yeah, I don't think I should be thanked for anything. Yeah, I think it's cringe when a parent goes, you know, do you know how many nights I had to stay awake and I had to change all your diapers for you and all the blah, blah, blah. Like what are you talking about? You're my weeb. You're the one who chose to have them. Like shut the fuck up. Would that be the thinnest bread criticism sandwich? Huh. Yeah, probably. The pricing of Valve Steam machines has finally been revealed, with the 512 gigabytes starting at $1,049 without a controller. Without a controller? 15 to 2,000 CAD. Okay, what are the specs on it? Are we gonna even play the game today? Errol told me that we're gonna have free time on Friday, and now I'm lost to the wind. I'm in the dark playground. Okay, Steam machine specs. AMD CPU and AMD GPU? Oh god, what a disaster. Okay, so without a controller, it's 1,509 Canadian. 512 gigabytes. 512 gigabyte with control. They couldn't make it around 1 terabyte. There's no 1 terabyte option. It's either half a terabyte or 2 terabytes. What the fuck, Gabe? All right, and then going up to a terabyte means that it's an extra $400 for 2 terabytes. Oh, it comes with extra face plates. Well. Okay, everything else is the same. Okay, all right. Semi-custom AMD Zen 4 C6/12T. Oh, wow, that's a good one. Semi-custom AMD RDNA 3 28 CUs. Oh shit, I was hoping for 32 CUs, but I guess I can live with 28. 16 gigabytes of DDR5 plus 8 gigabyte GDDR6 VRAM. That's not a lot of VRAM, is it? Small 4-factor 6-inch cube. Really? It's only 6 inches. Wow. I'm a man, so I have no idea how much that is actually. For whatever reason, that measurement is like, can go either way in my mind. Wait, my phone is longer than 6 inches, which is something I know for no reason at all. Where is it? What are you talking about? Wait, what? It's only that? Really? Oh, damn. Okay. It's smaller than a GameCube, isn't it? Did you measure your penis using your phone? What? Bro, why are you saying the quiet part out loud after the joke? What the fuck? What the fuck? And yeah, obviously, who hasn't? Yeah, holy oh man. Really, that is not a, that's a small machine. Okay, interesting. Okay, I don't know. The prices of computer parts right now, like, this might not be that expensive. It was funny though, on Ban That. Did the chatter get banned? I really should have lied and said you'd be desperately clawing for time to finish the week. Actually, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's up to you if you want to enjoy the ban. If you want to ban the chatters asking about your peanut. I mean, I'm enjoying the attention, to be honest. I don't know if this is expensive or not. I don't know if this is expensive or not. Happy Father's Day, everyone. It's quite expensive, is it? I think the GPU that I have in this computer and the GPU I have in the other computer just by itself is more expensive than this whole entire machine. I think. Wait, did I get a cheaper GPU in the other one? I didn't go top of line in the other computer. I got a 570, 580. I can't remember what I got. 5070, 5080. I don't know what I got. I think the RAM was more expensive. I had to get good RAM for the other one. But your GPU is miles better. Well, that's what I mean. But this machine can probably run almost everything on Steam right now at like medium to high settings, I'm guessing. Like it's probably been like tweaked for that, right? So like in terms of like getting like I don't think this is for people who wants a computer. I think this is for people. Sorry, I don't think this is for people who already have a computer. I think this is for people who are just like they want to get into the Steam stuff, but they don't want to have a handheld. They don't want the Steam handheld, whatever the fuck it's called, the Steam Deck. Maybe people want it for like a portable thing that they can take on vacation with them. Like I don't know. Can it be jostled around or no? If you want a comparison, I just measured my GameCube. It's pretty much the same size. Not sure about the height. Did you put your phone up to it or what? Like how did you measure it? I also think they're intended for being after being a home theater PC. Yeah, that's true. It's much easier to put this thing up to a TV and plug it in. Could you rig this thing in order to get TV on a T? Sorry, to get like TV on a TV, to get like Netflix on a TV and stuff. Probably, right? I use my Steam Deck for my game playing on TV already, so it might be worth it to me. Oh, really? You can hook up the Steam Deck to... that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, they're pretty customizable. It's a PC. Is it? Or does it launch Steam Deck's OS bullshit? I know you can air quotes, hack the Steam Deck in order to get like an OS running, everything like that. But like, what does this launch? Steam Deck OS is a PC. Oh, is it? Sorry, mine broke before I got into that stage of that. And to be clear to Gabe, it didn't break. I broke it. Did you get your Steam Deck fixed? No. He called Linux bullshit. Get him? It is bullshit. It is bullshit. My worst experience trying to play games on a TV ever was with the what were they called? The SNES Mini, the NES Mini or whatever, and they're like, how did Nintendo think that this tiny little fucking like smaller than my phone cord that would connect the controller to the SNES Mini, like how is that acceptable? It was so fucking short. You can't even get to the couch. What are they expecting people to do? If you go to the power menu on Steam Deck and press launch desktop mode, it'll just open a normal ass desktop. Oh, will it really? I didn't fuck around with it that much. What did I play on the Steam Deck? I played Tunic. I played Enter the Gungeon. I played Vampire Survivors. I tried to play Elden Ring. Surprisingly, it worked. It ran. It didn't run very well, but it did run. It did run like 20. Like it ran better than Bloodborne on PlayStation 1. It actually did. So I didn't, and that's all I did. I didn't really mess around much else with it. I did an entire playthrough Elden Ring on the Steam Deck. That's cool. Speaking of dick dangerously close to recording devices, Mandy once said he was sent porn with his vids on background twice. Has that happened to you at any point? I usually have them running in the background. Yeah. No one has sent me anything like that. No. Or I don't check my DMs. So maybe. Did you enjoy Forgotten Sands? I did. Yeah, it was good. I'm looking forward to playing it more on Saturday. I got into it. I really didn't like it at the beginning, but I got into it like maybe an hour in. It was like, okay, cool. I can fuck with this. Yeah. Bum 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 bum. Thank you, LRM, for the 15 months. 35 minutes ago when we started, because that's how long we've been yapping for. Arrows in Shambles. I'm sorry. Thank you, Bill Sparrow, for the 40 months with the great Joms Attorney. Joms. Thank you, Super Scoot, for the 19 months with For Those Who Chip After. Do we wanna make Joms the free emote? Should we do that instead of Copium? I just lost all my windows because the stupid idle game that is in the background of my second monitor, which I haven't even checked today, is there when I clicked on it. Fuck. If Joms is free, we can't use it elsewhere though. You can. If you subscribe, you can use the free emote somewhere else. Yeah. Is Copium still even here? We're fresh out of Copium. It's true. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Eve the Epic, or Evie the Epic, for the 10 months. Thanks for the amazing streams, Joe. They got me through my first year in uni, and for the first time in my life after trying and dropping out 2 times before. Congratulations for getting through it. I didn't finish university for the reasons I spoke about earlier in the stream. Yeah. I don't think I'm ever gonna go back. I don't think I need to, but I do feel like sometimes that I missed out on a bunch of life in that period. Yeah. But oh well. Thank you, Justa, for the 52 months with a man walks into a bar with a slab of asphalt. He says to the bartender, "Can I get 2 drinks? 1 for me and 1 for the road." Isn't it true that other places in the world say asphalt different? Did I just say it like wrong to some people in chat? Asphalt? Ashfalt? The ashfalt? I say asphalt. Never heard of ash. Is it just asphalt? I thought it was asphalt. No one says ash. I do. Who is ash? I don't know, but it's, they're to blame. Archfalt? I'm in the UK and I say asphalt. Oh, have I mixed both of them up then? Have I mixed like the beginning of the UK one and the end of the American version? Because I am a child of both parts of the world. Bardenfelt. Ooh. Thank you, Micrologist, for 97 months. Hope you're well, Micrologist. Always good to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Annie, for Prez, for 35 gift subs, following with 3,500 bits. I don't know what I did to deserve this, Henry, but thank you very much. Well, the gift subs were because it's my birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Henry. But glad to hear the pupper also has his birthday. Here's to another entertaining Yowie full year of streams. You and Gatsby have the same birthday. Really? Damn. Happy birthday, Annie. Hope you have an okay day, or better than okay. I'm considering going to uni for sociology. Thoughts? I have no strong thoughts about that. Like, I don't know if there's a lot of, like, are you going to learn? Are you going for a job? I don't know, like, how lucrative that's going to be. It might be, but I don't know. But usually that's one of the ones that people don't think highly of when it comes to actually getting a job afterwards, right? Could be, though. But that's not the only reason to go to university, right? Like, I went for a fucking English degree, so, you know. Oh, I'm a holiday makes Joe uncomfortable. Happy Father's Day. I don't think it makes me uncomfortable. It just, I don't, like, I'm not like, hell yeah. Mother's Day is a much bigger deal. For sure. Thank you very much for the gift subs and the bits, Annie. Thank you. The Hellet's Mouse for 1,500 bits would please purchase something nice for the good boy to chomp on. Happy birthday, Gatsby. Happy birthday, Gatsby. I will let him know. He's not in the room with me right now, Mouse. Sorry, he's on the couch. That's his. I will get him a special treat. I'll go get him some bully sticks. He likes the bully sticks. He hasn't had one of those in a while. He's off his meds right now too, and so far his eyes have been. It looked like one of the scabs was coming back. If you don't know, Gatsby has been on medication for a couple months now because he develops scabs around his eyes that they bleed. He scratches them and they bleed. So he was on antibiotics and he was also on anti-allergens for a while. He's been off the antibiotics for about a month now, and he's been off maybe a little bit longer than that, and he's been off the anti-allergens for about 2 weeks. And before he was even off of the anti-allergens, one of the scabs came back over one of his eyes, but then it went away. So I don't know if that was just maybe like he had like a lingering scratch and he cut himself a little bit or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, he's okay so far, but he might have to go back. I'm hoping that when I move, it'll probably go away. I just have this like intuitive suspicion that there's something in this apartment that he's allergic to. I don't know why I think that, but I noticed when we first came here that he reacted poorly to something in the place. Like his mouth became brown. The fur around his mouth became brown, and then his eye got a little bit scabby later. What if it's the couch? It's not. This was before the couch. I mean, I guess it could be. Maybe the fur was different and then the eyes was from the couch, but I don't think so. Have you tried getting him an allergy shot? The vet didn't suggest that yet, but maybe that would have been next if the pills don't work. I'm not sure. It's definitely in the microwave. It might be. Asbestos? If it's asbestos, then I'm fucked too. So it can't be seasonal allergies? I don't think it's seasonal allergies because it doesn't... Like, the first time he had the problem was in summer, and then he went on some pills and went away, and the second time he had it, it was winter. So I don't think it's seasonal. I don't know. I got my dog Cyberpunk injection. Cyberpunk injections would go hard, which helps so much with his allergies. Okay, maybe we can talk to the vet about that if they come back without the pills. Thank you, Darfker, for the 33 months for those sub after. Thank you very much. 24 minutes ago. Thank you, Sutama, for the bits. Happy belated Father's Day, Joe. Hope you did something fun with your kids. We went out to get some snacks, and then Finn wanted something from somewhere else, and then he wanted McDonald's ice cream, and then we went to McDonald's to get ice cream, and the ice cream machine was broken. So then we went to Burger King to get a milkshake, and they were closed, and then I had to take him like really far away to get something else instead. So it was a whole odyssey last night. To get him something, yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Usually that place's ice cream machine isn't broken. So yeah, weird. And the last set on my list, and then we can start reading hopefully, is from The Last Curry Rice for 19 months with Happy Father's Day to Joe and all the Chan fathers. Ooh. Yeah, if you made a Chan, if you're a Chan daddy, then maybe, yeah. Happy Father's Day to you. Thank you very much, Last Curry Rice. I could go for some butter chicken with some rice. I haven't had butter chicken in ages. I need to learn how to make it myself, but it's actually quite complicated. I've looked up some recipes for butter chicken, and it's not the easiest thing in the world. It's not like putting some chicken in the air fryer or making a stew or whatever. There's like steps to it and shit, but I don't like buying it frozen. I like to make my own. Thank you, Dick Cheney, Ace Attorney. Wow. Tier 2, 70 months. Happy Dad Upon Day to all who celebrate. The best name for this series. Thank you very much, Dick Cheney, Ace Attorney. That and Henry Roosevelt. Standout chatters. Thank you very much. And last on my list is the Krakonis for 20 months with, hey Joe, got a chance to talk to Robin Hobb last Friday. And she wishes you luck on what I vaguely described as a project about the Witcher series that a fan of hers was working on. Very lovely person, by the way. Really? You spoke to Robin Hobb? I hope she's doing well. I love her books. Yeah, those are really important to me. I started reading Robin Hobb's books when I was 17, I think. Yeah. I remember taking one of the books to high school with me. It was just a gigantic fucking book, like 700 pages or whatever. And someone came up and was like, "Is that for one of the classes?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Had a big dragon on it. Yeah. Hope Robin Hobb's doing well. I'm reading the second Farseer book. Love them so far. Yeah, I think that they do have some problems, to be clear. That, you know, if I read them more critically, maybe, but I don't know if I can read them critically because they mean so much to me. It was like that was basically my Lord of the Rings, and I tried to read Lord of the Rings first, and then I couldn't. So, yeah, I just couldn't tank it, unfortunately. I should try and do it again sometime. Robin Hobb is your dream? Yeah, kind of, yeah. Do they sell the Spice Tailor brand where you're at, Joe? Okay, Errol, what are you doing? Now you're derailing? It's a pack that comes with prepared sauce mixes and a packet of whole spices for toasting. They made a butter chicken. That's my go-to for when I don't want to do the frozen cooking from scratch. It's too much effort. Oh, really? I don't know. The Spice Tailor, but I'll look out for it and see. Yeah, I love butter chicken. It's so good. But I have to buy it like frozen in a pack that I put in my tiny microwave. And the portions are really, really small. Should we talk about butter chicken for an hour and then we'll start reading? Hey Joe, I was wondering if you could answer this question for me. How many scalpels could a Skulkin scalp if a Skulkin could scalp scalpels? At least 500. That's where they were going. Don't let him dim your sparkle. What the fuck? What happened last stream of Ace Attorney? Were we going into the trial? We spoke to Gregson's dead, and Van Zeeks is the one that is thought of to be the culprit, and he agreed that we could be his lawyer. Very Ace Attorney 2 or 3 whenever Chadworth was on trial. Then Kazuma is also going to be the prosecutor, and I don't know what the fuck Strongheart's doing, right? Huh? Okay. You know what's interesting to me? That it doesn't matter when we start. It still takes almost an hour for most of the viewers to show up, even if whether I do yapping in the beginning or not. I thought maybe it was like maybe some people don't get off work until later on into the afternoon, but no, it just takes a while, huh? We also had sex with Van Zeek. We did have sex with Van Zeek in our minds, yes. Notifications are usually missed. That's true, yeah. I wonder if there's a bunch of people that watch that watch the VOD on ×2 speed, and when they catch up to it, then they're a viewer. Is that what people do? If you're watching the VOD at ×2 speed, you don't count as a viewer live, right? So maybe that's what's happening. Yeah. Thank you, Sherby, for the 6 months also. Hi Joe, quickly stopping by to thank you for the great streams this year. Looking forward to more. Also, thanks for inspiring me to pick up the original Ace Attorney trilogy as well as the Great Ace Attorney. I've been enjoying them a lot. Yeah, they're really well written. Yeah, they're very funny too, which means a lot to me. Being funny is hard with like structured writing. Yeah, very, very hard. Hope you continue to enjoy it. And thank you, the Bok Choy Boy, for the 6 months. That's fun to say. Thank you very much. Oh, the washer's done. All right, so the Old Bailey, Reno Ski. There's that old familiar feeling again, the crushing pressure of this historic courthouse. Actually, no, it's a little different today. How's it sound? There's an even more menacing tension in the air. That's so true. There's a menacing tension in the air today here, isn't there, I suppose? Yes, I think so. It could only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant. A little more courtesy, if you please. A little less conversation, a little more action, please. Oh my, I do apologize. However, You're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary. What do you mean? I'm not privy to the details. However, I understand that no jury has been selected. A trial without a jury? Well, that's just like the trial of the professor 10 years ago. What do you mean, no jury? A closed court. Good morning, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes. Have you made a note of my hair, Mr. Naruhodo? An outright victory for science, you must agree. I love Holmes so much. So much. To be perfectly honest, so much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem. Ha! What to one man is a little hair problem, is to another a day of drinking dubious potion after dubious potion. Do you have one that stops hair thinning? Because I would be really interested in that. You have no idea how my stomach ails me this morning. Ugh. Oh dear, how awful for you. I'm afraid you only have yourself to blame, Mr. Sholmes. Thin asteroid. How do I get it without being able to see a doctor? Fuck it. Again, good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I can just go out and just yell it into the street and someone will bring me some? I'm delighted to see you looking so full of vim. Vim! And I see London's celebrated great detective is as active as ever. Oh, you exaggerate, my dear fellow. Compared to my paltry engagements with a few trivial cases, the Reaper's overbearing presence is a far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. Oh, you know what? Now that the washing is off, I can put the air conditioner on. Be back, 1 second. Because it's hot in here. How about shipping these two? Advances won't be racist as Sholmes. Yeah, but they would be playing mind games with each other all the time. They would do the whole Princess Bride, I'm not left-handed thing, but in a completely different context. Like, it would be insufferable. And whilst I may not agree with your methods, there is at least one point on which I would readily commend you. What an honor. And that would be an eye for good lawyers, sir. Mr. Sholmes. After all, behind this lawyer there is a very great mind. My own. What are you trying to say? I wish only to say that you should be prepared for quite a trial, Mr. Reaper. Sorry to barge in. Gina! What's that on her arm? It's a mourning band, I suppose. It is pretty early. Father, shouldn't you be at the symposium? It's been postponed, so I have some free time. I decided to come along with the police inspector to see our country's up-and-coming student in action. That makes sense. Where's, Jigoku? I shall be very interested to see the fruits of your studies over the past year. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Let's hope there are some fruits to see. Odo. Oh, yes, Gina? Why'd you agree to this, eh? Why'd you take him on? This Reaper bloke? Everyone says it was him what killed the boss. I'm sorry, Gina, but I just don't believe that. Well, if it weren't him, who was it? Present some evidence right now. I don't know that yet, but we'll figure it out in the trial. We always do. I don't care who calls him what. The Reaper's just a name. He's just a person at the end of the day. And if it turns out it was him what killed the boss, then God help him. Shit. Fire eyes indeed. Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing. Loathing, huh? At least that may be some solace to the deceased. Gina's a redhead? What the fuck? But please, Odo. Get whoever did this. For the boss. Oh, Gina-san. I ain't feeling like this useless. But I ain't feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. So you've got to find out who done this and make the wretch pay. Oh, we have fucking Metal Gear to play next month. Fucking in August. Oh, fuck. God damn it, I forgot about fucking Metal Gear. Oh, shit. How long is that gonna take? How long is Metal Gear fucking 5 gonna take? How long is Peace Walker gonna take? You don't have to play. I do have to play. It's gonna be so high. Fucking hell. Counsel of the defense and the defendant. Court will be in session shortly. Make your way into the courtroom at once, please. 5 is at least 3-4 weeks? No fucking way. Oh, alright then, here we go. It's time, Miss Naruhodo. Lord Van Zeeks. How long is Metal Gear Survive gonna take us? One who lost his treasured brother to a mass murderer. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law. And one who lost the man who helped her escape destitution. Did he though? All that misfortune, all that pain, on course to collide headlong in this trial. It's time to shine a light on all these dark events. And whatever truth is revealed, we're going to have to look it straight in the eye. Straight, you say? Did Sherlock know Kazuma's connection and was like, I can't let this guy get to the UK, and tried to just like get him off the... Is he that? Like that's like fucking Sherlock on BBC levels of like, he's not just smart at this point, he's just fucking psychic all-knowing. Like no way. 2nd November, 9:20 a.m., the old Bailey courtroom. Oh shit. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here to conduct the fair and just trial of the defendant, Brack von Zeeks, which is why there's no jury. Counsels to the defense and prosecution, are you ready to begin? The defense is ready, my lord. Oh, there's still an audience. Why no jury then? Okay. Is this like a Pokemon battle to them, having the two foreign lawyers go at it head to head? The prosecution is more than ready. Oh, Kazuma-sama. I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long. It feels... But I never pictured it happening like this. Okay, I read that wrong, sorry. I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution's bench. Can we have one of the swords? The so-called Reaper of the Bailey has been a scourge like no other, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today we must uncover the truth behind the scourge. They don't have to tell you yet. This is a good prime entertainment to them. How chuffed are you that you got to use the word telly there, Errol? Are you like, you know, chuffed to bits? Like, what's going on? In other words, Sumari, this trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson's murder. The truths revealed by these proceedings may have unpredictable repercussions through the judiciary. I deliberately backspaced and rewrote telly instead of television. Accordingly, they are to be conducted as a closed trial with no members of the public present. By Her Majesty's direct orders. Really? How will that work, my lord? Did they not update the thing in the or are there private people in the gallery? Like officials and stuff. Maybe that's fine. The burden of all arbitration and adjudication falls on my shoulders. Therefore, more than anything else, as you will see, the juror's bench shall remain vacant today. Okay, that's good. No examination summation. If no members of the public are present, might I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord? Oh, they're addressing it. They are members of the judiciary, here to witness proceedings and ensure an equitable trial. Put them on the jury then. Members of the judiciary. Oh my, this is a very unusual trial already. Oh man, the pressure, holy shit. There is of course another unprecedented aspect to these proceedings on which I must elaborate. The counsels for the prosecution and the defense are both aliens of Great Britain. I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. And as I stand here in this courtroom now, I'm quite certain. This is the reason why I had to come to Britain. Kazuma, the fuck you talking about? Very well, let us commence proceedings. Prosecutor Asogi, your opening statement, if you please. Shit's whack, Your Honor. Wiggity whack. Certainly, my lord. The incident took place on 1st November at just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was a building of flats on Fresno Street on the outskirts of the city. No idea what a flat is, Your Honor, because the whole time I've been here I've had amnesia, so my memory's all fucked up and I haven't really learned the language, but whatever, we're just gonna roll with it. The victim's body was discovered there in an old single-room rental property. Yes, Inspector, Tobias Gregson. A name known very well indeed to this court. Not least for his miraculous resolution of one of this country's grimmest cases 10 years ago. The Professor case. Did Sherlock feed in the information, or how sure are you about the time of the incident? Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshot and have all reported the same time. Yes, that's what Gina told us too. There were a number of witnesses. I have here a plan of the room. The victim was found curled up in one corner. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly. How has the range been determined? We're just guessing, Your Honor. There were scorch marks around the entry wound. Such marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. But powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only ejected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, Sumari, it only happens when the target is at point-blank range. Oh, my throat hurts. What the fuck? Uh-oh. Like, not in from talking way, just kind of like a, like maybe sick sort of way. Oh, fuck. I see, yes. Thank you for the detailed explanation, counsel. The autopsy report has been entered into the court record. Inspector Gregson's autopsy report stating that death was instant, resulting from a bullet shot at close range. The murder weapon was found lying beside the victim. And have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm? Fuck no, my lord. No, not conclusively. Bravo, Kazuma-sama. Basic lawyering detective work. For not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provenance can't be proven. Huh. Furthermore, my lord, as I've explained, the revolver was fired at extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There is a candelabrum mounted on that wall. I don't believe this. I think it's backwards. We're going to see this inverted at some point. The shot came from outside. He got wall banged by some guy who's totally not using Hunchodown sheets through the candle into him. And he was, I don't know, like, he's secretly smoking, and he had like a lighter and burned himself on the front part of some shit. And the tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile. We noticed that too, didn't we? Yes, that's right. Thank you for the thorough report, counsel. The setting of the crime is clear to me. No, the wall banging was 2 chases ago. Really, Errol? Really? 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 You're the one who's bringing the fucking handprints on the wall back. Really? Really? Holy shit! You will submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please. As you wish, my lord. The crime scene floor plan has been entered into the court record. A plan of the small room in the building of the flats on Fresno Street where the body of the victim, Inspector Gregson, was found. I can't make crass jokes in this chat without being called out. Nah, it's par for the course. I'm just surprised as all. Is this Fresno Street room Inspector Gregson's private abode? No, my lord. The room is rented to a Mr. Hugh Bone. Huge bone. Bone? But there is a precious little furniture inside and is generally in a poor state of repair. So what on earth was Gregson even doing there? Presumably he was investigating some case or other. When a policeman was informed of the gunshot from the witnesses and rushed to the scene. No, I don't think so. I think Gregson is Huge Bone, and this is his I'm trying to find out who the Reaper really is secret shack. Maybe he found out and he got killed for it. He found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside, holding the revolver. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot. Why didn't Van Zieks tell us why he was there? Did he and I forgot? I guess we'll find out. So, the details of the case are clear. In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. A name, please, counsel. Your mom, naturally. The accused himself. Here comes the strings. Lord Van Zieks. As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of office he's taken, and it will be compelled to tell the truth. No strings? Very well. Let the defendant take the witness stand. He's not going to need a box to stand on. At least not while he's doing this. So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court. Barak von Zieks, Old Bailey prosecutor. I presume, Lord Van Zieks, that you heard Prosecutor Asogi's opening precis. I did. It is alleged that you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by the arriving police officer. Can you confirm this? Yes, my lord. Then I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things away. Namely, why you were there in the room on Fresno Street at the time in question, and what exactly took place. Oh, a little smirk. I intend to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth. What a chat. I must say, Lord Van Zieks, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come. But since you became known as the Reaper, a part of me has been dreading it. Your formal testimony, then witness. God, the judge is so hot. Really? Of all the men that are in this room right now, and you're thirsting on the judge? What? What? The facts of the incident. I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. I don't have my judge beard anymore. I shaved it yesterday. Every single time I trim my beard down to like tidy, I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I should always keep it like this. It looks really good. And then I let it grow out for a couple weeks and it gets kind of like bigger and bushy. And I'm like, oh, it looks good. I look like a rogue lumberjack. I should keep it like this. And I just go back and forth over and over and over again. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of the Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Okay. Japanese judge is hotter. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah. Does the Gilf Hunter agree with that too? The one who said it? Thank you, Dev152 for the 28 months. Happy Father's Day, Joe. If I may add a single purification drop into the Fire Emblem Three Houses Poison Well, it does have full voice acting, so it's not a reading game. Oh, does it really? Even the hangouts between schooling? Is it? Gilf, more like Jilf? All right. I respect that. It does? All right, that's cool. The Persona 4 remake is going to have it all voiced too, right? I think the chat said that, so that's good. Who does Ben Star play in Through Husis? That testimony was the whole truth? It was. So, you heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that it? You're right, you haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse. I thought you were my mute apprentice. Yet it turns out you have a way with words, Prosecutor Isogi. Ooh. It would appear to be a singular tale indeed. What that mouth do? Singular isn't the word, it's laughable. I can't keep Kazuma's voice all that well, sorry. What's got into Kazuma? He's not behaving like himself at all. Very well then. Counsel, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Did I miss any strange treatment? You might have, yeah, I'm not sure. This is the first one since Friday, so if Saturday was Forgotten City and Road to Empress 2, which was a banger, by the way. Road to Empress 2 has been better than Road to Empress 1 so far. Highly recommend the Walrus collab stream. Like, it's a good time. Starts off way more exciting. It's not retreading the same kind of areas as the first one was. Like the first one was good too, don't get me wrong, but the second one has been much better so far. Let me read this again because I'm a little confused on what he said. I was investigating Gregson. My inquiries had led me to that address. When I first entered the room, why were you investigating Gregson? When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Wait, what? Okay, I kind of agree with Kazuma. Like, Van Zieks, you're like me on stream. How did you explain yourself in like the most incriminating, damning way that's gonna make people fucking hate you? What the fuck is your problem, bro? What? When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and saw no one. Okay, so you go in the room, it's dark. So dark you can't see anything. And then you hear a gunshot. Spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. But it was dark. How did you see the revolver on the floor? Okay, I picked up the firearm to examine it. The door flew open and I heard a man scream. What door? The door that you came in from? You closed the door behind you. So you go into the room. You close the door, it's dark. Then you hear the gunshot. Then the door swings open. And then... So, that's Lord Van Zeke's account. Do you have any thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, mainly it really doesn't ring true in all sorts of ways. Who fired the gun if there was nobody else there? Did he shoot himself? And how did the corpse just appear in front of him? So, you think Lord Van Zeeks is lying? No, I don't think that. I mean, if he was... Did the Reaper say, like, Gregson, like, obviously you care about Lestrade. If we're gonna set up a murder and we want you to die and Van Zeeks is gonna go down for it, so we're gonna feed information to Van Zeeks. He's gonna show up, and you're gonna have to kill yourself when you get there to frame him. And if you don't do that, we're gonna kill Lestrade. Is it blackmail? No, I don't think that. I mean, if he was going to lie, I would expect him to have come up with a more credible story. Wouldn't you? Yes, I completely agree. I think he genuinely doesn't know what really happened to himself, so we must do what we can to fill in the gaps. Yes, first and foremost, we need more information. Okay, let's press and see what happens. I'm interested in this. You were investigating the inspector? What on earth for? That bottomless bag of fish and chips, how does it work? It's fucking sorcery. I'm not at liberty to say. You're gonna have to. Shut the fuck up, here we go. Sorry? I'd identified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in the case I was investigating. Regrettably, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed. Convenient. Is the court to understand, then, that on the day in question, you followed the victim to the scene? No, I was privy to his movements in advance. How? Birds. I stole into his office in the yard and consulted his diary. Gregson has a diary? The address on Fresno Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry. You illegally entered the man's office. In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense. As it does in Great Britain, I assure you. Is that not the case, Lord Van Zeeks? I was aware of the possible consequences. Okay, is Van Zeek secretly a girl failure? And is that gonna make us love him more or less? What are we doing? So, in summary, you were investigating the victim. And yet, you refuse to tell the court why. Are we gonna have like a Shiroya City segment? People were discussing that in stream discussion yesterday, I think. Fucking Shiroya City might be worth the price of admission for Sekimeya, because it's so fucking stupid. Oh my god. I didn't realize British prosecutors enjoyed such freedom to choose what to divulge under oath. Ugh, why did I ever think I could defend this man? Dude. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside and I saw no one. Shiroya City was the hardest I've laughed in 10 years, by the way. Really? It was pretty fucking... Did Mouse and I, like, collectively losing our minds as it went on help? Fuck. Oh my god. The first time she explained her cooking process, I thought it was dumb. The second time I was mad. The third time it was comedy gold. Had you ever been to the address before? No, never. I only learned of the place as a result of my investigations into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make out anything. But at 5 p.m., the sun would only have just gone down. It would still have been reasonably light outside. The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside, so it was extremely murky inside. No light in your bright blue... I wouldn't have noticed that the victim was already lying on the floor. There was no artificial light in the room, you say? You're quite sure? I'm quite sure that the part of the room where the body was found was very dark. I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though I couldn't say for certain. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. There is a small desk in the room just here. Yes, I remember, and there was an oil lamp on it, as well as the framed photograph. Oh, where's Mr. Vigil? Miss Vigil needs her husband back, and Holmes needs the money, rent, the hardest problem. Fuck. When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me and started toward the desk to investigate. And what did you find? You absolutely cannot go straight to Shoria City. It needs to build up. It needs to build up. You have to. Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to watch the whole thing. Nothing. I never actually reached the desk. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. So who fired the gun? I don't fucking know. I have no idea. I didn't see anybody else in the room. But you say it was very dark in there. Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is, I didn't sense another's presence. Okay, 2 gunshots? Was he already dead when he went? Is there an autopsy report? Time of death? We don't know? Victim was shot in the chest at close range from the front, resulting in instant death. Scorch marks to the point of entry. The bullet exited the body from behind. Caliber of the gun used matches as standard issue firearms from members of the judiciary. Okay, we can't trust this at all because Maria Gory, M. Gory, holy shit. We can't trust this at all, unfortunately. There is no time of death. Okay, was he already dead when he went in and the gunshot was some sort of, something that was rigged up to shoot like a rope that was that was keeping him tied to the candelabrum, and then he fell over when he came in to make it look like he was shot just there, and also for the witnesses to think that the gunshot happened right then and there. But there's nothing like that on the also rigor mortis. How did he like fall and curl up? The body just appeared. Was he on the ceiling? Huh. Aha, then could it be that the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room? No, that's out of the question. Oh. Without doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder. Ugh, this is going from bad to worse. If there was some sort of like Rube Goldberg machine kind of setup that was on the door, wouldn't there be like some sort of like rope? Maybe that's what the toy is. The toy falls over. It was balanced on the door, falls over, and lands on the gun and shoots it or some shit. Like, that's stupid, but it's Ace Attorney, so... And you say that's the point at which you notice the revolver on the floor. Shot put ball killer is done it again. Yeah, correct. And I foolishly picked it up. That was carelessness on my part. Yeah, that was fucking dumb, bro. What the fuck? And presumably then, the gunshot you heard came from the firearm that you somewhat hastily took in your hands. In point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not. What? The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there was no smell of spent powder. But then, where on earth is the gun that was fired? Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I'm afraid I can't. I, too, would dearly like to know that. Hold on. Secret Derringer? Does this come off? The helmetless charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Shall we try twisting it around and around too? For fun? What's that? It appears to be some sort of key. Oh, but it's tiny though. It couldn't be a key for a door, not that size. So what is it for, I wonder? A model of British policeman found in the scene. Giving a twist causes a key-like shaft to pop out from the base. What the f- Is that a gun barrel? Could you have one like that? That's definitely smaller than my phone. And therefore, this looks like some sort of key. Yes, it does. A very tiny and simple key. What's a little key doing inside a figurine of a policeman in the first place? And what's it for? Wait, what the fuck? I thought there was gonna be like a secret like gun barrel in here, and that's the other, because that's the only other thing that's here. It's not though. Okay, what are we doing? I love mysteries. There are some black marks here. Look. Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks. So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here. Do you think would a bullet that goes through him and hit the candle do that? There's no way, right? There would be blood, and also it wouldn't be burnt like that. If the gun fired from the other side, it would be like that. It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them. Read your encyclopedia, Possum. Go. I've always wondered what the underside of a hairpiece looks like. That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you? I'm not sure that's quite how I'd put it. You must have to use lots of bird lime to keep it in place on your head. Bird lime? So it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean. That might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think? Huh. So this is the type of revolver that's standard issue for members of the judiciary then. Can we try firing it? Is it even a real gun? Yes, but when I asked about whether records are kept about who they're issued to, I was told that for the past 5 years they've been engraved with a unique serial number. Oh, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing like that on this gun, which tells us that it must have been issued longer ago than that. Oh, how long of... when did Van Grief get his? It's a Scottfield. What the fuck? It's a Schofield. I dislike this gun. Everything's Hunt Showdown to me. Just as I picked up the firearm to examine it, the door flew open. I heard a man screaming. Really? A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume. That's right. One of the street merchants working on Fresno Street. Who are these merchants? What do they sell? A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window of the crime scene. I haven't eaten today, by the way, chat, so I'm gonna get hungry real fucking fast. A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddlar. Peddlar, not a peddler, peddlar. What's a peddlar? Cadwell packs so much better, not gonna lie. Yeah, True Shot's the best pistol in the game, I think. A lot of people like Little Matt because you get a pocket shotgun, but I don't know, I've never really liked it. Peddlar. Peddlar is an itinerant trader who travels from place to town or door to door to sell wares directly on foot. Okay. Peddlar is a part of the fur trade, according to Wikipedia. Peddlar is a term used in Canadian history to refer to English-speaking independent fur traders from Montreal who competed with a Hudson-based company in Western Canada from about 1770 to 1803. After 1779, they were mostly absorbed by the Northwest Company. Okay, I doubt there was a Canadian fur trader in Fresno Street, so... Peddlar is just a different version of peddler, I guess. Okay. And without thought of danger, they ran inside to see what had happened. Oh, he was Canadian. Yes, Jean told us about that yesterday, didn't she? Oh, what's going on here, eh? They burst through the door with some force, it would seem. Oh, really? They did, and almost gave me a heart attack in the process. Can we see them? Because they're really fucking sus right now. But you're supposed to be the Reaper. The first man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled. A policeman patrolling on Fresno Street heard the commotion and was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Anyway, the man's scream drew my attention in that direction. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Okay, what are you talking about? So, the guy outside was ready to run in so fast that in the space, there was gunshot, scream, run in, and then Gregson falls down. Like, is this guy a plant? He was ready to, like, burst in? This is sus as fuck. Haymaker is a funny gun in Hunt to use. I like it. Yeah, it's a bit too unwieldy for me. That and the uppercut, they just feel heavier because they deal so much damage, right? But they are pretty good guns. Yeah, I like the Pax True Shot. That's my favorite pistol. I can land shots on that better than most rifles, actually. What do you mean by that? In what way did the body appear? No more dum-dum rounds, though, so that's sad. I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point, and then suddenly, there it was. Floor panel that can flip over? Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand? At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying open and the scream of the man who came inside first. Nothing. Oh, he was taped to the door. He was taped to the door, and the force of the door being flung open made the tape release, and then he flew across the floor, hit the fucking wall, and in hitting the wall, made the shot put ball that was balanced on the ceiling move over, that made it fall down and knock the candle, and also made it like smoke appear somehow. It was, and then the shot put ball is made out of smoke, and then it just disappeared. There you go. The shot put ball killer has done it again. I see. After the man fled, I examined the body. I was stunned to find that it was Gregson. Are you sure it wasn't Kinzo in disguise? Most curious circumstance indeed. How the inspector was killed, or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere, I have no idea. Objection. Surely the court has heard enough. My lord, the cross-examination is clearly revealed that the accused, Barak von Zieks, is lying on multiple fronts. What is that supposed to mean? Good gracious, counsel! The defendant is lying, you say? In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. Okay, dude, did you just present evidence to him? That's what we do! That's correct. No, that's impossible. As proven by this candelabrum. How does that prove anything? If you examine the tip of the long candle, you can see it has been blown off by a powerful impact. One would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle. The problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are clearly of a different length. Yes, I can see that only the candle that appears to have been struck by the bullet is long. We could reasonably expect someone to have lit all three candles together. Okay. Kazuma, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, is your argument now that all three candles were on when Van Zieks went in, and when the bullet shot, it knocked one off, and the other two kept burning down? That's what the argument is? Which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others. That must be because that particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. Ah! That's right. When the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles would have still been burning, so the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. And the accused claimed that he couldn't see the body. Clearly contradicts those facts. And now, to the next lie. There's another one? There's more? The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board covered from the top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings. Yes, that's right. We saw it too. That's so true. It goes without saying that the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged. However, they included a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago. 10 years ago? I'm getting some big Minority Report vibes right now. This is starting to sound familiar. And there's a common thread linking all the documents on that board. Indeed. What is this common thread, counsel? Red thread. It was put on all the pins. They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Barak von Zieks. Ooh, the smirk. All of them? And furthermore, all those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted. Good lord! Interestingly, none of those defendants are alive today, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper. Okay, so, Kazuma, let's say that you're trying to try him for being the Reaper. So you're saying that this guy who has been killing people for 10 years in such devious ways that he managed to set McGilded on fire in this room and wasn't caught, fucked up so bad that he just went into a room and just picked up the gun and like with like, come on. Objection! Van Zieks is so good at killing people that he couldn't have killed Gregson. Oh no. In short, Sue, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout and his base of operations. The Reaper's hideout? And yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout. No one would believe that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards. Backwards? Explain, Counsel. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. Okay, we just, like, you're just assuming he's the Reaper. That's the trial. If we assume he's guilty, then he's guilty. Order, order, order. Very well, I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Barak von Zieks is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great service to his country. However, it is with deep regret that I must concur with the prosecutor Sogi's contention. Really? That the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts. All I have done is state the truth as I know it. Kazuma's done a brilliant job as ever, has he? He's drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case, and it's formidable. Is it? Counsel, you will submit the board that you just showed the court's evidence. I believe it to be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence. Oh, thank you, my lord. The notice board has been entered into the court record. Free-standing notice board completely covered in notes and articles relating to victims of the Reaper of the Bailey. And now, the prosecution would like to call a new witness to the stand. Witnesses who saw events unfold on the day in question. They were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember. Yes, the street sellers who heard the gunshot and went running into the room. Okay, I like the twist that Kazuma was the one that presented like evidence for that to move that forward. That was cool. Very well, lead the witnesses in. The defendant may step down from the witness stand. I didn't even step up. This is just how tall I am. Certainly, my lord. Bum bum bum. Bum bum bum. 3 blondes, okay? So, witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Oh my god, what the fuck? Names? We don't use names. Far too fancy for the likes of us. We're just free and easy. Sell what we like, live where we want to live. I give them all a vacant stare as they walk down Fresno and spin a few words into a verse for them. Ah, would I be right in assuming that all 3 of you make your living by selling wares on the street? Hee. Everyone calls me gossip. I sell jaunty little titbits to passers-by, you know? Jaunty little titbits? Got an absolute smasher for you, sir. Right up your ginnel it is. 6 is the price and not a penny less. Let's do it. It's important for the case. Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now? Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested. Try the man. Give him the money and see what it is. Pay the man, counsel. All right. 6 it is. You won't regret it, sir. Now got your listening ears on. I, too, would like to hear it. Just between us, a young couple on Slight Street have just had twins. Is that it? No, that's not it. It's gossip. In it. It wants to spread. But that bit's up to you and your mouth, of course. I've got more, you know. Want another juicy one? 6 a piece it is, if you're curious. I am curious, yes, about what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours. Namely, the unusual bruise or whatever it is that's poking out from under your collar. What about the next witness, then? What name do you go by, and what do you sell? Venus? Me, I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, innit? Desu. I sell these lovely little fireworks to all local school kids. Huh. Do you now? Do you now? Okay. Huh. Whoa, 6 pence a pop? What do you say? You weren't exaggerating with little. Did they actually sell? Oh, I don't think that could be mistaken for a gunshot. They seem kind of light. Okay. What if you put all the gunpowder into one? Would it? Oh yeah, the second ears can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Firecracker, fist, boom, bah. Especially when I tell them that they get 100. If they get 100, they could blow up the school. Not the most savory of ideas, young lady. What do you say then, eh? Wanna part with 6 pence for a pop? Wait, what? You want me to buy one? Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you could blow up the whole courtroom. Try the woman. Give her the money and see if she's right. Pay the woman, counsel. all right, I'll buy one. If it gets entered into the court record, I swear to God. I swear to God. Lovely stuff, right then. This is something a bit extra just for you. The Venus special, only 600 pence. 600? It's 100 of my regular fireworks. Nothing little about that, is there? And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. The Venus special firecracker consisting of 100 smaller fireworks at 6 pence each. What sort of bang could it make? And the last witness, what name do you go by and what do you sell? I'm a thinker, me. All sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. I think. Because I stand there on the street watching the world go on about me. They call me the Observator. Get out of it, old man. Everyone calls you Sandwich and you know it. So, you don't actually sell anything. A problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. I give advice, I do, and think what it means. I don't actually sell anything, no. Come to think of it. Hot? Pity. No more purchases today, please. Well, we have quite a cast here, it seems. They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord, and always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene. Okay, I think these three were hired to do something. I see, and thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose. So Van Zeeks was definitely set up. There's been a Danganronpa bullshit that went on this room and outside of it. So why would someone want Van Zeeks to go down for this? Why is someone propping up Van Zeeks to be the Reaper of the Bailey and now wants the Reaper of the Bailey to go down? I don't know. Not only that, but they were very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witness the crime. Well, I'll be beggared, I thought. Just between us. Venus de Milo, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw. What I think is, if all what we see is light and shadow playing with our eyes, is any of it real? Alright, Plato, back in the cave. Very well. The court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. Van Zeeks must be fucking fuming. You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident. Doot 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 doot. We saw the whole thing from start to finish. We did everything from the moment they went into the building. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside, and we all heard a big bang. Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go and see what had happened. I ran into the room, and there he was, the Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body. I was scared after death, me, so I ran off to find a copper. If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Barack von Zeeks. I've seen pictures of that Reaper in the paper. I know what he looks like. And just between us, folk love stories like this. I've made myself a tidy sum already. But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied. How fucking convenient. Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. And we know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Huge Bone. The testimony in court has just heard. The testimony the court has just heard would appear to leave little room for doubt. It's becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone on the defendant could have committed the crime. Because as we all know, if flats are fucking unrented, that means no one's in them. Squatters don't exist. Whole empty building and no one is in any of the other units. No. Thank you for your candor, my lord. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witnesses. Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony. Somehow. The witness's account. We saw the whole thing from start to finish. We did everything from the moment they went into the building. Thank you, Dibblemont, for the bits. Who has been your favorite Ace Attorney character so far across the whole series? Top candidates are Sholmes, Chadworth, Ryu, Susie, Gumshoe, Van Zeeks. Probably that's it. Yeah. Those are my top candidates, I think. Thank you, Siggy for the 14 months. Siggy, Fido. Thank you, George, for the 14 months. With oh dear. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zeeks? I suppose so. The likes of us don't know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the old Reaper that went in last. That's for sure and certain. Just behind Inspector Gregson? Did they arrive at the same time as each other? No, not at all. The first fellow must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before we heard that gunshot. The victim arrived 15 minutes before? Are you sure about that? Am I sure? Does it seem likely that I've forgotten a fellow with a bright red hair like that, does it? Yeah, is there... really were red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks even. Redder than yours. Wait, what? That fiery red mop still burnt on the inside of my eyelids, it is. Okay. Most reliable witnesses of all time. What do you mean? How do you know it was... Wait a minute. You're saying the man was a redhead? Weren't you listening, chum? Aye, he was a redhead. And he had a big trunk with him as well. He had a trunk? But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red, not by any stretch of the imagination. It seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. A trunk? Like the trunk that Jigoku had in the fucking lobby trunk? What? Just have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene. Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, all right. And a red hairpiece. Ah, of course, we saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we? I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a hairpiece, though. So, then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that? The color does seem to suit the man, one might say. You like red? Yeah, that's true. Photograph we submit as evidence, please, counsel. Trunk like he needed an iPad Max to measure it. What is this new method that we've done of like scaling up devices to measure yourself? Holy shit! iPad is blessed. Holy shit! A photographic print of the victim, Inspector Gregson. His body appears to be tightly curled up, and there's a red hairpiece on his head. That might be too far. And what became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene. Huh? So it just disappeared. What, do you expect us to have been watching the building every second, do you? Okay, so it's not reliable testimony that we definitely saw him in the dock going in though. No question about that. We definitely saw him in the dock going in, though. No question about that. Him in the dock. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang. By which presumably you mean the gunshot? I sell these little things, don't I? How would I know what a gunshot sounds like? But I've always thought it probably sounds a bit like this, doesn't it? And you say you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here enter the building? That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang! It went, just like that. Well, he's the Reaper, isn't he? It's what the French call a fait accompli. When the Reaper's around, people are going in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, isn't it? Yep. Yep. I think we get the message. The Reaper couldn't allow the inspector to live after he discovered a secret hideout. There can be no clearer motive for the crime. Yes. It's certainly an eminently credible motive. Really, Judge? Great. Ace Attorney. And at that point, you ran inside, is that correct? Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go and see what had happened. So when Gossip ran to see what had happened, did you go too? Well, me, I'm a bit hampered. See, all signs are that, and I can't move very well. You were way behind, presumably, with that sandwich board around your neck and that big sign in your hand. I would love a sandwich. What a great burden you bear. Fucking barnacling over there. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before? I'm not anybody, me. The signs are what make me who I am now. I signed, therefore I am. So, you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago then? I might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling has intensified, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot. Turn down King Henry Street and Black Widower's Arms is just there. Oh dear, you've made him hide behind a sign. Life is full of surprises. Life is unfair. I ran into the room and there he was, the Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body. So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right? Who took his wig off? Oh no, he's bleeding a lot. Okay, so he was shot here. He wasn't posed somewhere, unless... I have no idea what happened. What the fuck? Okay. That I was. Kicked the door open like a professional I did and yelled out, what's going off here? Lord Van Zieks claims all he heard was a man scream, though. And was it dark inside the room? No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall. Really? And there was a fella collapsed on the floor. Just between us, it's the first thing I noticed when I got inside. Okay, so you're lying, or Van Zieks is lying. I trust Van Zieks. But maybe I shouldn't. What's going on here? Why would you lie? Why would either of you lie? I see. Even though Lord Van Zieks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall. Next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body. The accused, Barack Van Zieks. Does Van Zieks have some sort of Cospox-like condition that he can't see candlelight? That's right, the pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I won't deny it, but I'm no lily-livered coward. I stood my ground and gave that Reaper a cold, hard stare myself. And was there anyone else in the room at the time? No, of course not at first. But then this old stiff came waddling along behind me, of course, only him mind. I can't handle stairs so well as you can imagine, especially on the way up. And you couldn't have just failed to see someone? It was a bit dingy in there, I grant you, but there were the candles on the wall and the lamp on the table. There was nowhere anyone could have been hiding. You mark my eyes. Ugh. Doop, doop. I was scared after death me, so I ran off to find a copper.
Hold it!
You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. So you didn't run into the room with your friends? Friends? I'm not that sort of girl. Sorry? I'm a timid little thing, me. I was too scared to go in there. I don't believe you. You light matches on your ass. There's no way. Ah, right. I see. Old Lippy and the witch ran in there, and then I heard a sort of old lady scream. Old Lippy! Well, that wasn't me, I swear. If I were a gentleman, I'd stake my honor on it. I wondered what on earth was going on, which is when you went to find a policeman. And I ran into a copper as soon as I turned the corner. So I brought him straight back to the place. Didn't I do well, eh? What do you think, everyone? Just between us, that copper's eyes nearly popped out of his head when he saw the Reaper. I've never felt more uncomfortable in all my life. And the defendant was arrested on the spot, I believe. Considering the catalog of killings the Reaper had carried out. Catalog of killings. It was a particularly inauspicious end. If I can't find any holes in this testimony, I'm afraid the judge will give a ruling of guilty, Mr. Naruhodo. The truth is, though, their combined testimony is fairly damning. It's true, actually. Unfortunately, there don't seem to be any obvious problems with their statements, do there? Still, if Lord Van Zieks really is innocent, then I'm almost certain that we'll find something in there that doesn't quite add up. You don't think that one of these three could be the true culprit, do you? I don't know, but what I do know is there's more to this case than is yet to be brought to light. Like, my mind is going to some sort of, like... Someone orchestrated the crime scene, set it all up, rigged it so, like, there was a firecracker on the candle that blew up at the same time that with the... So it's close to a fire source, so it went off. And then it fucking, it blew that candle up and it simulated a gunshot, but... Like, where did the trunk go and where did the firecracker go? Are these the kind of firecrackers? Like, firecrackers leave a casing behind, don't they? So if the trunk is real and the casing was there, that means someone had to have, like, cleaned up the crime scene after the fact. So someone's lying to that level, that extent? And also, like, someone has to be lying because, like, the candles were lit in something, like, in one version. Did they see, like, a completely different version of events? Did they They killed Gregson twice. These guys came in and it was an actor playing Van Zieks that was there, and then the second time they went in for real and then he was arrested. Like, no, that doesn't make sense. What the fuck? They went to two different buildings on two different floors. Like, sorry, two different rooms on two different floors. What the fuck is going on? Whose was it? It was this one, right? That the guy interrupted?
Hold it!
Oh, maybe can the firecracker light the candles? So when it went bang, it blew up on that candle and it lit the other two? And that would be why the body, air quotes, appears, because the light wasn't on and Van Zieks is just stupid?
Excuse me.
You have something to add, Mr. Sandwich. Young Sandwich. There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am. Just two slices with no middles. I am the sandwich, so I don't know what you could want with me. I think that maybe you just remembered something, having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean. What I think is, we're all nothings really. We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're just all street sellers. That's enough out of you, Sandwich. Keep your trap shut now. Uh-oh, unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich. Is the fat lip a clue? Like, he has that mark on the neck that Ryu noticed. Is the fat lip just how he is, or did he get punched? When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside. That's it. Oh, you rotten beggar. I told you to keep that a secret. He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off on all fours. That's all I wanted to say. How is this important? Mr. Gossip, is this true? The floor was dead slippery, that's why. Slippery with blood? Planted my hand in a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck. Huh? What? Pool of blood? But listen here, even when I was sprawled on the floor, I still kept giving that Reaper a cold, hard stare, and don't you forget it. Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hands? I did. It happens to the best of us at times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I slipped over. We can keep it between us, can't we? No, Mr. Gossip. I don't remember there being blood on the floor under Greg when we went in the room. I'm gonna have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony. Oh, if I must. Wax model of... Oh, return of the wax model. The witness will amend his testimony to include the aforementioned details at once. Slipped over and got blood on my hand, so I quickly wiped it off on the floor. Where? You wiped your hand on the floor? Well, who wants blood on his hand, eh? Horrible stuff. And they might have thought I'd done it. Humph. No thank you. And you didn't think that might be a problem? Does it really matter if I left a few grubby handprints on the floor? They'll get cleaned up in the end, won't they? Don't make such a fuss. That's the message from all of us. Is something wrong, Counsel? No, my lord. I didn't remember anything in the report about a bloody handprint on the floor. That's all. No handprint on the floor? We don't believe you anymore. Don't come at me with all that. You can't intimidate me. I know what I did. I wiped it off on the floor. The blood. Where is it then? Okay, did CSI do it again? Just two cases in a row. Get fucked, court system. I wonder, could that have been what happens? Mr. Naruhodo, I don't have all the answers yet, but I think we may have just uncovered a vital clue. Shit, wrong way. Okay, so does it want this one? Like where's the handprint, or does it want this one? There was no handprint. What does it want? I know what it wants. It wants me to save it. Saving. Unapologetic saving. All right, so we're gonna see if this works after the break. Thank you to Miss Greencoat for the new sub with a message in chat with excited to have the drums emote. See, this is why it can't be free. People sub for the drums. They yearn for the drums. Thank you, Miss Greencoat. Thank you, Ajax Meister, for the 16 months with the message. Joe, why do you say very well like that? Like, very well. That's from Elden Ring. Rygard? I can't remember his name. There's a boss that does a whole thing with very well. Join the serpent family as family. Join us as family or something like that. And then together. That's where that comes from. It's all the same bit. If you mean like very very well, I will go along with this. That's Yusuke from Persona 5. So there's two very well memes. Thought it was 999. I think we started saying it from that, but it's from Rykard from Very Well. They're around the same time, I think. Bum, bum. Thank you, Dylan, for the bits. Yeah, Gregson may have tried to have Gina put to death, but her also helped to get a job, so it's hard to tell if he's a good guy. That's true, yeah. You know, there are two sides to everybody. Is Yusuke still your favorite Persona pal 2 games later? He's probably the most entertaining, but my favorite is obviously Kanji. I like the Persona 3 cast though. Persona 3 cast was good. I dislike that we have the perfect amount of stuff in the court record that it looks like you can just scroll infinitely. I don't know when I'm at the end because it just keeps going. No, I don't like this. No. Okay. So oh yeah, we're gonna press this thing to say where's the blood print then, right? That last statement was contradicted in a number of ways, I think you'll find. How is that not it? In a number of ways, you say? That's right, my lord. In a number of ways. Perhaps it would serve you well to concentrate your efforts on one contradiction at a time, Council. What? Maybe I messed with that in a number of ways, actually. Huh? What do you mean? We might be here a while? Uh-oh. It's got to be this, because that's what we pressed to get the more information. And it's like saying there was no blood. His hand didn't go in the blood because there's no handprint on the floor, and also there's no gap in the blood where he could have put his hand in. So what is it? How does that not work? Is it this one?
Objection.
No. Okay, am I not meant to press on this one then? Because these are the only two that could possibly be. Oh. Okay, I feel like the other one should still work. Oh, what's this? Miss Naruhodo, look. Oh yes, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks just like a handprint. And the color, that's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing. There are details of a whole raft of cases dating back years on here, aren't there? This paper from 10 years ago is browning with age, look. Out of interest, the most recent thing appears to be this newspaper cutting here. Oh, it's the same red-headed League advertisement that Mr. Sholmes had picked out. And do you remember, there was a red hairpiece at the scene too. Two spells? Was Inspector Gregson an exponent of the red-headed League then? Can't wait for more Forgotten City. Guess I'll sit through this anime, kill the wait. Yeah, I really want to play it some more too, actually, yeah.
Objection.
It's gonna be a long wait for Saturday for me. So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room? Are you quite sure about that? Well, what else do you expect me to do, done, eh? Does it really matter?
Objection.
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigations. What exactly is the fence asserting? Kazuma, are you fucking dumb? If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Asogi. Oh, damn! Certainly there was no bloody handprint found on the floor. What are you trying to say? There was a handprint in blood left very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board. Ah. Why, yes, indeed. Indisputably a handprint in the distinctive color of blood. You sure? I think it's blonde. Are you dead? Yeah, you're dead right. That's my right hand. I know it anywhere.
Objection.
The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant. Oh, he's not very good. How disappointing. Holy shit.
Objection.
Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there. Okay, so the board was hiding behind the body was hiding behind the board, and then something fell over. That couldn't have been the bang of a gunshot. So the firecracker was set to go off and fall over. Then someone burst through the door, and when they burst through the door, they conveniently opened it this way, and the killer just hid behind the door, and then after the commotion, they just Theresa made themselves out of there. Also, in the struggle, they just picked up the board and dragged it over there at the same time too. Don't mind me. These two were just fighting or whatever, and then just left. Like, what do you mean? So the candles was lit, but he couldn't see it? Oh, fucking Van Zeeks. Van Zeeks, what is your fucking situational awareness, bro? Are we legally allowed to urine after you? Like, what the fuck, my dude? Like, just look at the floor plan of the room. Oh my god, it does open into the room. The nose board was in the opposite corner of the room to the victim, in an upright position, even if it had somehow been toppled over and was lying on the floor at the time. It would have been a considerable distance from the body. Yeah, about that. And yet, it's still there. I fell over when I came across the body. So I was basically right next to the corpse, not on the other side of the room. In other words, sumari, the defense's assertion is contradictory. Yes, it is. The prosecutor needs some time to catch up, I see. Okay. Let's get that key from the fucking little toy and stick it in his back. He needs another couple of winds up to get going. There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason. I take it that you formulated a proper hypothesis, counsel, regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene. I have, my lord. This discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint is explained by another handprint, the board moving, false testimony, the board moving. The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down. Good gracious, so it is. If the witness had put his hand against the board, the fingers should be pointing upwards. What does that tell us? He's so bad. It's also one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested, which means that after the incident, it must have been moved. What?
Objection.
All right, enough of this. I'm gonna prosecute myself. You know what? He is pretty bad. You know what? I'll allow it. All right, my learned friend. I will tell you now how I did do it. You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting. Then tell the court who. Then not my burden. I don't know that yet. But the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point. And what would that be? The position in the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord. So, counsel, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court. Where was this board? At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated? Here? I don't... It's a big room, Big J. What the fuck are you talking about here? This is the only possible location. Immediately adjacent to the doorway. If the court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room, it was dark, and he couldn't see the body. Bayak. If the notice board had been here, the body would have been completely hidden from view, and the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker. Yeah, it's a known, that's how light works. Light only goes in one direction, and if there's something like a notice board in front of it, it doesn't like bleed around it or anything like that. It's just a dark room. Just the absolutely, yeah. But the accused also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him. That's true. Or, in his precise words, just as I picked up the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. I don't know about calling it a scream, but he was talking about me and no mistake. Because it was me that kicked the door open. If you look again at the floor plan, okay, I'm sorry. So bro friend, fucking Van Zeeks comes into the room, opens the door like a gentleman, so not all the way, then just like steps inside, then closes it again, and stays in this area the whole time. Otherwise, he would have seen the light go here. So is the gun here? He sees the gun and then scream, bro comes in, bashes it open, and then it falls down? Really? He was looking at his phone, trying to do some measurements on the fly, huh? Alright, whatever. Consider what would happen if the door of the room was thrown open with force. That can't. The door struck the notice board, knocking it over, and making the victim's body visible. Good gracious! My client has told nothing but the truth. He is a bit dim, but it was the truth. He has simply described what he saw. Ah. Order, counsel. How has this not come to light before now? Oh, there was a board blocking it, my liege. After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleagues saw it when investigating the room. Who? Say who? Tell me. Tell me who. Witness, what do you have to say for yourself? What? Me, my lord? You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board. The witnesses in the stand will testify again. You will each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime. Where's the blood, the bloody print in the, like, on the floor? There would be like drips and a smear and shit. Or are we just like glossing over that? Stop looking over your glasses at me. I get the message. I thought every detail mattered. God, that looks like he's just been like entirely choked all around, or like a noose. What the fuck happened? I don't know anything about their notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all. Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. Also, I failed to notice this because I failed to tell you this because you didn't ask. But I also sold Greg some firecrackers before he went into the room. Oh, was that important? Sorry. It is added to testimony. How could that possibly be important, my lord? I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander. Me, just a sign at the crossroads of life. It was that Reaper, I bet. He's got a face that screams bored. Me too, buddy. I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when he heard the gunshot. So none of you can elaborate further? Shaken by the crime they witnessed, and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see. We can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened. Then why are they here, Big K? You're the one who called them! What the f- That's right, yeah, I don't pay to expect too much. It's man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think. Do you really? In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. Good point. In short, so the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Barak von Zeeks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact. Quite so, quite so. I'm convinced. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witness despite the circumstances? I'm gonna pound my gavel. Guilty. Oh, I see the defense is gonna want to do a summation examination. Just with me. All right. Judge, that statement you made contradicts one you made earlier. Oh, does it? Let's put you against each other. You know what? I'll change my mind. Me too. Sorry, I'm in my own fucking world. All right, most certainly, my lord. Very well. Then you may proceed, counsel. Cross-examination, the mystery of the moving board. Thank you, Bizer, for the bits, by the way. Kazuma, have you ever been in court? You keep listening, and more information is revealed. Nice, it's the movie meme. I don't know anything about that there notice board. Just wipe my hand on it, that's all. So you admit that it was the board you wiped your bloody hand on. Admit it? What's to admit? It's there plain as day for all to see. A smashing print on my right hand. Perhaps you wanted to hide that handprint, so you righted the notice board and pushed it into the corner, did you? No. Imagine the weight of that great lump. Do I look like a powerful and well-nurtured man? Well, did you see anybody else moving the board? I've got nerves of steel, I can tell you, but even I have my limits. There was a body on the floor in front of me, and the Grim Reaper himself standing over it, and there was precious little light inside either. My bottom lip was all a quiver. In other words, Sumari, this witness is unable to give definitive testimony at this point. On that point. Yes, so it would seem. Well, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. Tell us more about these second years. When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks? Yeah, what else? There's the Priory School just around the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow the school to Kingdom Come. Deliverance too, Henry. So I've been telling on them, letting their teachers know what they're up to. You snitch! Oh, you have? Yeah, wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so I let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. That she's like strawberry blonde too, right? There's a little bit of red in her hair, like a reddish tint almost. I wouldn't like, or do we think straight blonde? Kind of strawberry blonde, right? No, it's just straight blonde to chat. No, that's the hood. Maybe it's the hood is going through. That's just her hood. Look at this blonde. Look at this blonde compared to this blonde. There's like a little more warmth in this blonde. There's a little more red in this blonde. Is there not? Just a little. This is a cool blonde, and this is like a warmer blonde. So it has like, yeah, but not strawberry. Yeah, okay. I can concede that maybe we can't call it strawberry blonde, but there's a little bit more red in this hair than the other one, I think. All right, you know what, Chet, you're right. Yeah, sorry, my bad. I shouldn't have done the point. Then praise the Lord, teachers take all the fireworks off of them and give them back to me, and I sell them. And then praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy more. Everyone's happy, see? What a racket. Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. It's a busy old life selling explosives. Venus is a guileful goddess indeed. Well, telling barefaced lies well, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it. Scary. I see no problem with this. Continue your testimony, witness. The important point is, you didn't go inside the room when the inspector was killed. Isn't that right, Kazuma? She just said she lies for a Definitely not. Wouldn't have dreamt of it, would I? Love telling lies, I do. Fucking, I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander. Me just a sign at the crossroads of life. See you at the crossroads. But you did go and see what happened in the room, didn't you? Fresno Street is my whole world. It's all I know, and I know all of it. I have to make it my business to know if I want to hold my sign up high. So you did go and see what had happened. It's not the destination that's important, it's how you get there, isn't it? Desu, did you notice the notice board in the room? If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? We're both different members of the sign family. So if I'd spotted it, I might have tried to trip it out on a sense of rivalry, I admit. Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo scienians. Lamayo got him. Does that mean that you didn't notice the board? Well, of course I did. It's a notice board. I can only repeat what I said before. I don't know anything about it. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life. In which case, just who was responsible for moving the notice board? It was that Reaper, I bet. He's got a face that screams bored. And we notice it. What exactly do you mean by that? Dude. Oh, come on now. Don't tell us you've not noticed. He looks like he hates everything in the world, that fella. And not notice boards. But not notice boards, they're the one thing he likes. You can see it in his eyes. I can't say I'd ever noticed. I'll tell you one thing for free, though. I never took my eyes off that man on the floor. Or off the Reaper. Not for a second. Sorry? Well, I was that scared. I couldn't. You never know what a fiend like that might do if you look away, do you? If you didn't take your eyes off the defendants, and you should be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board. Categorically, you say? Aye, that I can. The Reaper did nothing of the sort, and I can swear to that. I couldn't have missed it. if he heaved the thing upright again and dragged it into the corner. Right. I'm glad we've cleared that up. Dude, what happened to the face that screams bored? I feel your pain, Kazuma. I can't see how this changes anything. Anyway, the detective still died when we heard the gunshot. We don't know that actually. The autopsy doesn't say it. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it? Maybe the notice board fell over, or maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over, or maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way because of that gunshot we all heard. So your fate's sealed too. Mr. Naruhodo, my fate? That's right, the defense is fated to lose, and the prosecution to win. In other words, Sumari, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of their story, it may be possible to change all our fates. Of course, none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, does it? Oh shit, there's a Monday stream. Cool. Yeah, we're trying to finish the game this week, so we have to do an extra stream just to make sure we can get done this week. Not much to go on. As you pointed out, Mr. Naruhodo, there's no question that the notice board was moved, so somebody must have done it, but it did happen after the event, so maybe Kazuma is right, and it's not relevant to the case. But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. Okay, it's like they set this up to kill me specifically, that this is following the case where CSI fucked with the scene, that we now have yet another crime scene that seems to have been fucked with after and they're not bringing it up. They're not being like, maybe that's going on again. Like, oh my fucking god. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all this. I'm enjoying it though, but it's still so irritated. Yes, I know what you mean. I've no doubt there are more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track, I can feel it. So follow your instincts. Alright then. See, if this was Danganronpa V3 Dro, I wouldn't be trusting any of the evidence for the rest of the game. But you know, progress.
Hold it!
Well, that's Kadeni's lie, isn't it?
Excuse me.
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich? If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it? No. Did Miss Venus' statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Philosophical thoughts? Deep philosophical thoughts? Let's say there was a great liar, and that great liar said, without batting an eye, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too, or the truth? In which case, she's not a liar. Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one. Don't you think? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you? You're Venus. You're fire. What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Telling lies? Keep on like that. And I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set them off. That'll give you something to tremble about. You have a startlingly disturbing mind behind that sweet innocent face, young lady. Are you crushing on this girl, Judge? What the f- Okay, question mark. Interesting, okay. So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich? Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Can you elaborate, please, sir? Old Blabbermouth here headed for the room where the gunshots seemed to come from, but there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him too. That's right. That rotten liar over there. Then who went and got the coppa? Heh. Do you mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all? What did I tell you, eh? said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I? Yes, you mentioned it. Well, that's so not true. That revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it? Who knew the firecrackers packed such a punch? When the courtroom is a rockin', don't come a knockin'. So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief. Well, now you come to mention it. I suppose perhaps I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah. Either you clearly remember it or you don't. Well, I should consider fitting punishment for this perjurious act later. Oh, does she like collect the empty firecrackers to refill them? She reuses them? So she ran up to get it, maybe? Because she knows that it was there? For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth. Oh, yes, my lord, of course. Bum, 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 bum. Maybe I did sneak along behind gossip and have a little peek into the room when it all happened. Where it all happens? Sure.
Hold it!
How can there be perjury when there is no jury for this trial? Good point. You make a habit of lying to you, Miss Venus. The jokes are really bad today. I'm sorry. I need to eat some fucking food. Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. If you want my advice, though, I take everything I say with a big pinch of salt. What? All right, but you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you? Oh, please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying. The truth, please. Well, all right, just a bit then, as a treat. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know? What age is that? Did you touch anything at the scene? Oh, please, as if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor. It's the judge, not me. The judge is the one questioning. The truth, please. Well, all right, just a bit then. I had a look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a once over, but it was nothing to write home about. Right, now, I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you? Oh, just a little bit. Oh, please, as if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had. The truth, please. Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it, so I blasted the flippin' thing. Sorry, flipped the blasted thing. What? You're telling us that you did move that board? I think that did slip out, didn't it? And you didn't see it? Fucking gossip? What? You daft barn pot. I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think. So, did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken, perhaps? To sell? Oh, just a gun? Oh, please, I should be so lucky. In my imagination, the truth now. I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. But a bit of junk like this can't be worth much if you... So it was you, was it? You're the one who took it. To Gina, young lady, may I remind you where you are? That watch there, that was a present to Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago. The professor case, no doubt. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. Grub at the pub? It's good, I see. I swiped it off him once and blimey, he was upset. He gave me a right earful. Said he hadn't missed it a day in the last 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then. It's not that, though. All this girl does is sell firecrackers and lie. I know, isn't she amazing? I took it to Jabez's that night to ask how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Always be pawning. Wouldn't give me a penny for it. Said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it. Ugh, I knew I should have lifted it. That watch must be submitted as evidence at once. Oh, please, just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done. Not a chance. I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again. All right, did you find anything? How did she move the whole thing with no one seeing it? What are we? This is stupid. That's enough. Hand the watch. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith. Now, children, watch your manners. Good lord! The glass appears to be broken. More than likely, it shattered when the inspector was shot. How? It doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jabez didn't want it. What a waste, eh? Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at the hour of 5. Huh. Exactly when the gunshot was heard, then. Okay, so he was shot at 5 in the morning. Watch was wound at some point and then was smashed on purpose. Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course. Gregson's pocket watch has been entered into the court record. Inspector Gregson's pocket watch is still wound without fail every single day. It's no longer ticking and the glass over the face is cracked. Well, it would appear that the mystery of the moving nose board has been solved at least. Yeah, how can we trust anything they say now, Judge? Okay, the thing, the toy soldier isn't the thing that goes in here and winds it, right? Oh, for fuck's sake. Looks like it is. What a pain in the ass. Ah, there's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see? Oh yes, that's probably for the winder used to wind up the mechanism. It looks a little unusual, don't you think? Yes, you need just the right key to wind it, I imagine. Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something a bit like a key that's about the right size to fit this hole. It would be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully over what we've already found. What's this one at the top then? There's a tiny little stub sticking out from this small hole here, look. I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that setting for setting the time. In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such good care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it? Yes, of course. Which could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. Huh. This is fake. This is fake. The glass over the face really is badly cracked too. This is tampered with. What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully. I imagine Mr. Sholmes could repair it, don't you? Yes, I should think so. He's very... Oh, we're gonna wind it and it's gonna work. So it didn't stop when it smashed because it still works. Look, it still ticks. If the clock still ticks, you must acquit. He's very adept at things like this. A useful man to have around, in fact. But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruto. It's not an odd job, man. Okay, is there more now if I open this up? Oh, so Mrs. Otto, do you think perhaps this key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch? Oh, yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose. I knew it. A perfect fit. And look, the inspector's watch has started going again. Ah, so it has obviously just not been wound up, that's all. What is it, Mr. Zato? Well, if the watch isn't actually broken, after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications. She's deep in thought now. Perhaps I'd better start thinking deeply too. If we wait for the seconds to go, will the minute hand progress when it ticks over? You know it won't? That's a clue then. It's stuck at 5 o'clock no matter what happens. So every detail matters, right? The speed run where Mr. Naruto stares at a pocket watch for 10 hours? Oh. Okay. The details of Gregson's pocket watch have been updated in the court record. Well, it appeared the mystery of the moving nose board has been solved at least. And as predicted, it had very little bearing on the case. Now then, continue the cross-examinations, please, counsel. Okay, is it pocket watch on that one? That seems like a stretch, actually. Let's try it, because I feel like we do need to use the pocket watch. This is the only one that has a time on it, right? Let's see. Time. Face screams board. I don't know anything about bystander. Maybe I did sneak along. Don't know anything about the notice board. Just wipe my hand on it. Yeah, it's gotta be that one.
Objection.
I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. Oh. At the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. A key. Kind of amateurish, they just left it there. And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built. What? Order! 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 But counsel, the watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock. Yes, which is just when we heard that gunshot. It is exactly the hour. The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock. It's not a coincidence. God, we're both just as stupid as each other, and I'm as dumb as both of them as well.
Objection.
God fucking Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when this crime was committed. No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago. Why not? The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did. Why not, you dumb bastard? The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, more than anything else, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well. Yes, that would be entirely reasonable. But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day. Oh, aye. Well, how do you explain that then, or something? In summary, Sumar, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean. What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? I don't know. The obvious answer is that he was already dead. Yeah, he's dead. That's the only answer. Yeah. Order, counsel. That is a most extraordinary claim. Extraordinary isn't the word. It's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night before. Do you really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? Okay, bro. Oh my god, I'm going to shit. Fucking... First of all, how dare you? Second of all, like the last case, third of all, the autopsy doesn't even have a time of death on it. So what the fuck are you talking? On that subject, there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted. That's right. Wait a minute, you're forgetting that my legs went from under me when I kicked the door in. What do you mean? Like I said, I planted my hand in a dirty great puddle of blood. Yes, so the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh. He catches on fast, doesn't he? Doesn't he? Maybe it was fucking animal blood. But that blood could be explained in a number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim's body after he... Does my learned friend think that fresh blood is available on every street corner? Yeah? There are butchers all over the shop. Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human. The problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It is beyond our abilities. Sherlock can do it, though. So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example. It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all.
Objection!
But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question. Is it, though? What? He's so fucking terrible. Given that the time of the, I'm actually really enjoying the subversion of usually like it's like a really hard press and you're like, holy shit, he's being so difficult, but at the same time he kind of has a point, you know what I mean? Like he's stretching the truth, but he's being like a little shit. He's Kazuma's fucking just really bad at this, given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question. It isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all. Oh, please, what are you trying to say? She throws the firecracker. Us lot know what we heard, and it was a loud bang that came from that there room. Now you listen to me. A street seller's ears are his livelihood. I don't doubt your ears, sir, but all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise. Eh? Explain yourself then, counsel. A noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with...
Take that!
Well, the culprit could have used something like this, for example. Oh, really? A demonstration is in order then, I feel. Order! What? Yes, please, show the court how you could use that to create a noise like a gunshot. We're waiting, counsel! I may have been mistaken. It looks like you've been making a lot of noise yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. Wait, that's wrong? What? Kazuma's got a devastating way with words in English too. I realize it may be difficult to retract what you said and present some different evidence, but perhaps... Yes, I was thinking the same thing myself. Do I have to investigate it first? That's because I'm convinced there is some evidence that could produce a similar noise. Explain yourself then, counsel. A noise that sounds like a gunshot could... Have you had an idea, Mr. Hodo? You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks. Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like. Shall we find out? What? But she said it could blow up the courtroom. Bang. All right, that was a fairly sizable bang. My ears are still ringing, Mr. Naruhodo. It sounded almost exactly like... Oh, I'm full. Something like that. Oh, the culprit could have set off one of those needs to think a gunshot. Good gracious, the very fireworks are sold by the witness. Now, hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway, see? Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact. You're trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene. I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear. But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barack von Zeeks. Oh, did I not say that I'd set my customary fireworks I set off it every day at 5 o'clock to just, you know, enjoy myself. One whiff of a match and my firecrackers go pop. See? That's why people like them. I fear for your fingers, young lady. Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learnt of a very, very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb. Good heavens, a bomb! You mean an anti-gravity device? Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like. Mr. Naruhodo, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to yet another international incident. No, wait. It's the whenever you like part that's important. A timed device. Yes, exactly. A timed device. Oh, did they use the pocket watch to time it? Can that work? Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left. Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that a timed device was employed to create the gunshot sound? What? Wait, what do you, what the, this? This again. I don't know that it was here. The pocket watch. You're suggesting this could have been used as some sort of time delay device? I did think so, my lord, but it's becoming increasingly clear that we've all been very misguided here. Yes, by you. What? No, counsel. The time has come for a penalty. Without what? Do I need to investigate it again? No time to clear the air before the blast. Your extravagant claim was essentially with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to say? Okay, the candles then?
Take that!
As the court had already discussed, the tip of one of these candles in the candelabrum has been blown off. Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim. I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible, why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle. There are! Goodness, yes! But is it not the case that there was also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound? That's right, there was, but as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun. Ah! Which means that the scorching on the candle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks. I'm Yusuke now, apparently. How can that be, eh? The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded, or another gun, or to put it another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point partway down the candle. And it was loud enough to make a sound like a gunshot, but not loud enough to put the other one out next to it? Really? Okay. I guess. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burnt down along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, sharing a loud bang. And that is how these three witnesses came to believe they'd heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock. Well, what a plot! And this implies that the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe. The previous day, even. The week before. It was an imposter in court the other day. Now, just hold your horses. All of us lot here saw the victim going into the building, remember? I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair, even if I wanted to. The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Obviously, anybody can wear a wig, so the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely, wearing the red hairpiece. Someone else? Do you mean to say? It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Sumari, Inspector Gregson's killer. Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Kazuma? Asogi? I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? I also note the lack of a time of death in this report, a stark omission.
I'm not owned. I've known the whole time. I was just pretending to be stupid. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired.
Bold move. Fucking prosecutor. Order. Prosecutor Sogi. What on earth do you mean by that statement?
I hear that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today. So we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopped watch is just conjecture. But, while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore. Why are you role-playing as Van Zeeks?
It doesn't sound the same coming from you. It doesn't have the same racist kick that, you know, gets us all flared up. Well, certainly I would agree with you.
And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing and where did he go on the day before the incident?
You gonna fucking fill up a hollow chalice over there?
Do you know? The inspector always carried out his investigation work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard.
Weird. Even within the Yard.
How do you not know that? However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend? I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating.
Yes, I agree. Surely, it's the case of the missing husband for Mrs. Vigil.
My lord, the defense believes it can explain to the court the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death.
Very well, counsel. Present your arguments to the court. Why do we have to? What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident? The case of the Red-Headed League. I mean, it's got to be the Reaper case, right? It's all this evidence on the notice board, right? I actually don't know. This case is weird so far, for it wants something really specific from you. Like it could be either. Like there's all this like why the fuck? Like why the fuck is all this evidence in the room there that led him there, right? Like it could be that. But at the same time, there's like why was this picture on the desk and why was he wearing the wig? If he was even wearing the wig. I'm gonna go with Reaper.
Take that!
I can't say that I find your answer suggestive of anything particular. What do you mean? Other than perhaps it is utterly wrong. That much you have clarified most expertly. What?
Congratulations, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. You deserve a reward for the expert display.
At least these are entertaining. Did you just draw Karuma on me, my friend? My learned friend?
I think, Mr. Naruhodo, that there's one particular piece of evidence that really does stand out in showing what case Inspector Gregson was investigating.
My lord, I have the answer now. Okay, let's reload it. So save the spot. I don't get it. If I'm using something that's in the room, why does it want something else that's in the room? Because there's nothing that he's carrying on himself, right? And our suggestion is that the headpiece was put on him after the fact. I don't know what it wants from me.
Take that!
Okay, yeah, it's not that then. I don't get it. I don't understand what it wants from me. There's nothing that he has on his person. What have I missed? Does it have to be something he had on his person? So the reason why it has to be something that has on his person, because if it's not, it's something in the room, which means there's multiple valid answers. So why is one correct and the other one isn't? What daily is really just supposed to be execution? Was it this one? Indications of the jailbreak plot was conceived by incarceration. Is believed that the convict engages sort of negotiations with prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be damned. Is it the Red-Headed League?
Take that!
I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. What? We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation. Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make this inspector more noticeable. Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League. The Red-Headed League! So, you'd already worked it out. Huh? But
But we just argued that he wasn't wearing it. Okay, does this not make sense, or did I miss a beat? Sorry if I missed a beat. I don't want to be harsh on the game without it being fair. This feels wrong to me. Is there a step I'm missing, or is he gonna explain it now? I'm a little confused. The killer was posing as Gregson wearing their hairpiece, meaning Gregson was wearing their hairpiece. But the only reason he was... I think the only reason he was wearing their hairpiece was to get past them without them realizing it wasn't Gregson immediately, and then putting the hairpiece on after the fact to make it look like only one person went into the apartment, right? It has nothing to do with the investigation, right? I don't know. I'm confused, but it doesn't matter. Thank you, Arrow, for the bits. Stealing Van Zeek's job wasn't enough for Kazuma. He had to steal Van Zeek's pet name too. We're reaching levels of pettiness never before imagined. Jealous of the attraction that's going on between those two. What on earth is this all about? Is there an extraordinary League of Gentlemen? The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception. Deception of what nature, Council? None of them have red hair. They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London, tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor just yesterday, in fact. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once. Two redheads. Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece, so it's very likely they had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events. I concur that we cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm still a little bit confused, but it's okay. Let's just keep going. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us, at least. The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these two Red-Headed League conspirators before me, Prosecutor Sogi. Maybe it shouldn't have been something that we had to say there, because it's like, if Asogi already knows, why didn't Asogi just say it? Why did we have to confirm? I don't know. At once, my lord. Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned. Okay, we still have an hour left of the stream, so I guess we're not ending here. So we'll continue a bit. It's a red herring. November, 12:33 p.m. Lunchtime. The Old Bailey. Defendant's Antechamber. Oh, there you are, Odo. What kept you, my dear fellow? Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Gina? You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, you know, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you. It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes, but I was more shocked than all of you put together. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission. Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Scythe. I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zeeks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose. The 2 criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Sholmes' suite, I mean. That's right, Suze, and it was me what took them in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen. Indeed, yours truly. So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuthhound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. Don't tar him with the same brush as you, Sholmes. Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zeeks for some reason. The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zeeks, and Kazuma. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow. Gosh, I think you're right. I don't think he's right. What's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Bum 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 bum. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial, and he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Oh no, are we gonna do another investigation? Fucking hell. Are you ready then, Miss Susato? Yes! Susato fighting! 2nd November, 1 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Damn, that was a long recess. Fucking 30 minutes, fucking, like what? In here for Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Barack Von Zeeks, here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Sogi. My lord, have you summoned the witnesses as requested? Yes, the 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Very efficient, very good. Why is Van Zeeks here then? Bailiff, usher the 2 men into the courtroom. Is that spaghetti? Oh, I would murder some spaghetti right now. Oh, should I go make spaghetti after this? I'd have to go to the grocery store and get some mincemeat and I need everything actually. No, I have some gluten-free pasta. Oh, I would love some spaghetti. Oh no, I'm so hungry. Oh no. Oh no. I'm whiny. I'm so hungry. These 2 men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court. I am Fabien de Rousseau. Another French person, a descendant of the great de Rousseau family from Nice in France. And my name, Peppino de Rossi. It's me. Racist Mario. I am the 3rd son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli. The 2 men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility. Those who graduate from Temzik are the future leaders of Europe. But do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Alors, I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little grey cells of my brain. That is all I am trying to do. So that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? Oui, you could say that. Not bad, eh? He has the grand ideas, but petty plans. This strange combination is the charm of the hilarious brothers. The Capo? Oui, Capo. Listen to me, Peppino. I have 2 things to say to you. The accent, it is contagious. She, are you about to tell me one of your grandy anecdotes? Ivava. Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this Capo. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business. She bello, there it is. The Capo's trump card, the furrowed brow. It is deep, Capo, the furrow and the meaning of your words. The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Oui, c'est ça. And what exactly is the nature of the deception by which he planned to defraud? Laws, I will explain it. No, Capo, leave it to me. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no. At school, we were teased for this without pity. The Capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse crying like the Trevi fountain. What? Oui, those dogs. One day the world will respect us redheads. Every night he would bury his head in his pillow from the C'est bien, Pepino, enough, I will explain the rest. Oh my god, I'm going to die. The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled to The Red-Headed League. Oui, c'est ça. I am honored that you have seen it. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair. And if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement, and from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings. Whoa! What a grift! And with the money to France, it was a plan most elegant, no? No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, the cube? I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk like a coster's orange barrow. And the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these 2 men spoke face to face with every single person present that day, and among them was Alex Yeek. Oui, I have seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see the rest of my life. See, and now, every time I see the Capo's hair, I feel sick to my stomach. Anyway, why have we been summoned here today? Sorry? I beg your pardon. The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Very good. Very good. You lost the accent. So, Mr. Rousseau and Mr. De Rossi, you will now give your formal testimony for the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course, we are always ready to help with the law. The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day. But I don't recall the man in this photograph. Hey, Capo. No, I don't remember him. Obviously, he is dead now, but I assure you, he was not in the park. Alora, this victim has nothing to do with us. You remember all the 1,000? Fuck off. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? Oui, I am quite certain. We did not interview this man. Nobody looking like this came to the park. This I can promise. It must be noted that you have been arrested for a grand deception. However, accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances. Finally, the judge is speaking sense. Afa, with this attitude, we get to nowhere, He's really a sulkin now. Sulkin brother. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard, and it records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover. I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, eh? That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed. Very well, defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Really? Yes, my lord. Fucking hell. We had more than 1,000 ready people to assemble the parking lot street that day. Does chat want me to stop doing the voices? Are they offensive or what? 1,000 people, that's a very big crowd. It was quite a spectacle. Redheads had come from all over the capital. See, the capo here has the magnissimo animal, eh? Animal. What the fuck does that mean? Nobody, the magnetism of an animal? Nobody else could attract so many people. It's dark woke? What the fuck does that mean? If I could be born again, I would be the capo. All those people wanted the money, Pepin, though. The 4 pounds per week. Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants? Oui, that we did, because every one of them paid us 5 shillings. We take their names, and we take their money, and we take their addresses as well, and then we rob them. Then I tell them we take us some days to let them know, but by post, el finito, maybe 2 benito a person. We start early in the morning, and we stop late in the night. So you earned 5,000 shillings in one day? That's a small fortune. Who'd have thought there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with? One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair. I mean, if you pay 4 pounds to one person after that and then discontinue it, was it really a scam?
Hold it!
He doesn't look at all familiar. No, I don't think so. And this is a wig, eh? He was trying to trick us. I do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people, says the con artist. If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair, it would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face. Yeah, I agree, actually. No, senor, I may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park. Why is he doing the "you do not own an air fryer" pose? But he's not going to give the court a definite, it seems? Yeah, okay. Hey, Capo, you didn't see a man like this, huh? No, I do not remember him. And obviously he is dead now, but I assure you, he was not in the park. But according to what you've said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. Oui, is that true? My eyes were burning by the end of the day. Surely then you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain? Why does this matter that this particular man wasn't present? What are we building to? Normally, the red hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around. It's just an eyesore. Okay, he's vampire. The other guy is, no, I can't. They're so similar. Like French and Italian sound exactly the fucking same. And if there was some other information you could have give us, maybe we would recall. That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact, huh? If there was a man with a red hair piece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think I could have forgotten him. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Kazuma said these two had only been shown that photograph and they'd been told nothing else at all. I literally, for the last 10 minutes, I cannot stop thinking about eating spaghetti. Oh, like the cheese with the sauce and the minced. I cannot stop thinking about eating spaghetti. What, for example, one of the detail about the victim, for example, his name, his fish and chip. I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember the situation. But what if I told you that the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly? You saw Italians eating spaghetti? No, I saw someone eating spaghetti. Look, it's on the fucking screen. Not really. I was only looking at the heads of the applicants. I wouldn't have noticed the fish and chips any more than the caviar and smoked salmon. Or spaghetti. Me, I love the spaghetti. I do too. I want spaghetti. Oh, really? I had no idea. Gluten-free spaghetti is actually one of the rare things that that's gluten-free that tastes like pretty much just as good. Like gluten-free pasta is awesome. Fuck, tell them again what you said before, Peppino. Capo, I say it again and again. I love the spaghetti. Do I have to go through that again and pick the other options or no? Should we do it just in case? chat, why are your streamers starving? I know, right? They demand the streams before I eat. It's crazy. Ain't no way in Europe gluten-free pasta sucks. I don't know what to tell you. Over here, it's great. I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember the situation. But what if I told you that the man in the red hairpiece was actually a detective? The man in the photograph, a detective? Then why is he dead? Yes. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. Sorry, but this changes nothing. Okay, I can't be fucked. I'm not going through it 5 times. We're just going. I'm sorry, we're missing dialogue. Something to add, Mr. DeRossi. Che? See, I am always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil. Oh, I'm so hungry. No, what I mean, I'm sorry. I'll try to stop. What did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? Oh, garlic bread. Oh, spaghetti with some garlic bread. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh, garlic bread would hit so well right now. Oh, holy shit. The garlic, the cheese, the carbs, her posture. Eh? What did I just say about the detective? Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You have said enough already. Oh, why you say my line? But why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, I am an inspector from Scotland Yard. Oh, what? Oh, good lord. Order. Explain this volte-face in your testimony, witness. It's simple. A man who was at the park said to us that he was an inspector. There was no such man. Shut the fuck up. My day, what are you saying, Capo? Have you forgotten, eh? I have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park. Basta, Capo, basta. You beat me at the many things, but not two. The memory and the meals. Like I said, when is the time to eat the pasta? No one is a fasta. It's me when the stream is done. But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up. Ugh. Troptard, the damage is done. Indeed it is, sir. There was a man who came to the park and he said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard, but it was not this man in the photograph. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else. How can you be so sure? Because, to start with, his face is completely different. Different. See, it's true. The man who came was a younger. Younger? His face was clean shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner. Or Sherlock? Boom, boom, boom. No resemblance whatsoever then. Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, if you're really a detective, show us the proof. See, the capo here, he doesn't take no nonsense, eh? But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector identification? That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord? Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question. Okay, judge, he was Definitely, why would he expose his true identity? Clearly, the papers were fake. Certo, Capo, you are a genius. As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another, eh? And what happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said, you are under investigation, unless you give me £4. So I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park. It was a fascinito. And look, here's the identification. So you stole from the man. He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said he was. Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence. Humph, but I like them. Fucking hell, I like them. Fuck it. Inspector, Mr. Rossi. Okay, let's look at it now. Let us return to the witness's testimony. Metropolitan Police warrant card. Wait, what? This looks kind of official. Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside. Psychic paper? Oh, there's no picture. I guess there wouldn't be, would there? Yeah, in this time period. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it? Out of interest, what name is given? Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's Tobias Gregson. Wait, what? This Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me. But how? And the department identification number details are all correct as well. Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say? I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard, but that's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all. Okay, so Gregson was killed. Someone took his wig and the papers, went to this place to make it look like Gregson was there and still alive at the time. This is a very elaborate setup. Who the fuck did it? Huh. Is it the Vigil guy? That's the only other person I can think of right now. Laura, this victim has nothing to do with us. It was an imposter. Don't bring up pasta in front of the pasta eater. God damn it. But we only have your word for that. See, but what else do we do, huh? True. Afa, we are not having much fun these days. First we are arrested, then we are shown the horrible picture of a dead man. And now you question every single thing we say. We are the victims here. Hey, Capo. No, you were caught carrying out a plot to swindle hundreds of innocent people. Duh. Humph, you had to bring that up, eh? It's not fair. Hey, Capo. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It was your fault if we got caught in the first place. What you mean by that? Cavallo, you promised not to say. Hey, Capo. I kind of need to pee, chat. Do you mind if we take like a 2.5 hour break? After we had taken all the monies that day, we should have left the country. That was my plan. I left the purchasing of the tickets for the ferry to Dunkirk to my companion here. Is the fridge that empty? No, I have food. I just don't have spaghetti. But I mean, I just really need to pee real bad. But he bought them from the Ronde. Oops. See, but it's an easy mistake. It's a mistake to make. The 31st. Both. I have no sympathy for you, but we were all day late for the boat because of your stupidity. And it's only because of this that the so-called great red-headed detective caught us. Capo, you know what I think? This is the work of God. It is a holy punishment, eh? Peppino, for the last time. This is not holy punishment. It's only your fault. Ah! Don't blame God for your unholy mistakes. You are making me sick with anger. Humph. Maybe I make a mistake, but when it is time to eat the pasta, no, it is a pasta. And I've seen the evidence. They haven't told us much we didn't already know. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, if it was the inspector's diary, it seems likely that he must have gone to Lime Street that day, and yet these two both claim they didn't see him. I have to say, they don't appear to be telling lies. Well, they are experts in deception, don't forget. Sounding plausible is their specialty. They may be lying simply to avoid it being implicated in the case as well. Oh, but Mr. Naruhodo, they have such a catchy jingle. When it comes to pasta, no one is a fasta. Surely they were truly experts in deception. They wouldn't have been caught. Ah, well, yes, you do have a point. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Seems like we need more information. Definitely. We love Susie. We stand Susie in this house. We have more than 1,000 red users today. We don't recall this man in the photograph. A capo. Nonsense to remember. Obviously, he's dead now, but I'm sure he was not the part. Okay, so we just present the evidence that it actually is his book. Is what we do. I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely, Miss Lestrade. Why, Miss Lestrade? What is your intention here, Counsel? Is this really a fake or is it genuine? That's the question. Which we can't answer ourselves. Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. That is the boss's. No question about it. It can't be. As I suspected. All according to Kotaku, the undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation. No, I don't think Zoo laws. How many people are gonna make pasta after the stream is done? Thanks to me. I'm in the pocket of big pasta. I'm getting the payout. I'm getting. Oh my god, you have no idea. Pasta stocks are way down. Order. But if the boss had his identification stolen, he would have reported straight away. I mean, he was always on at me about it. If you lose summit, report it at once, he'd say. Could it be then that the inspector was physically unable to report it? Grilled bacon skewers? Oh man. Bacon wrapped scallops? Oh, I'm just hungry. Oh, for fuck's sake. Physically, what are you saying? Unable to? You're not suggesting? Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen. No. Order! The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered, at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that? Oh, no, nothing. Oh, I had done nothing. Oh, pull yourself together, Peppino. Mon Dieu, you can't behave a little more like a master criminal than that, no? Oh, now I wish I had to return to Italia. Oh, Piggy, go home to market. Stop crying, Peppino, please. Otherwise, Someone is cutting the onions, making even more pasta. Let me stop your whining and start talking. Well, I believe the court will need to hear your story in considerably greater detail. I know nothing. I done nothing. Fucking hell, sorry. But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome. Ugh. You will dry your eyes and testify again. I'm available for voice acting, by the way, if anyone is impressed by my work. I don't know if you're gonna pay me, but just fine. About these identification papers and precise circumstances under which you came by them. For crying out loud. The detective and the identification. If I ever do make a VN, I will have probably a mod setting that's me reading the whole thing and performing it, even if it doesn't have voice acting. And I wonder how many people are gonna, if anyone gets the VN not knowing who I am. It's like, why is there this awfully performed fucking mode where this guy is just reading the whole thing out in like all these horrible fucking voices? The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him for the night at our secret hideout. Wait, what? Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day. Just in case. What the fuck are you? We took the man's. Hold on. Van Kam. We took the man's identification from him and shot him in the room next to ours. There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm. And the next morning, we let him go. He spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like prison, really. What the fuck? Who was it? Was it gossip? Is that why his neck is all fucked up? This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man. But no. It was not like a prison. We fed him the spaghetti. He was very comfortable and calm and happy. Capo. It was never a part of my plan. I swear it. Ofa, so you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got the date at the ferry wrong. But by one a little a day. I do not think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it. No. Por favor, capo. It is not fair. She'll have plenty of time for squabbling back at the prison, gentlemen. Uff, I don't believe this. How could he have been a real detective? Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination. So, on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this pair's hideout. But they said it didn't look like him, and we can trust them. It's not like they lied about anything else. The detective identification. I think we should let him go. I think they're fine. The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him for the night at our secret hideout. They fucking folded, like me doing my bit with chat. Do you realize what you're saying? You have to believe me. I never intended for that to happen, and I'm sure the detective did not intend it either. Do you think? But there was nothing else I could do. See, nothing else. That was first the crime of the capo. He was the end of his wits. I'm not doing a reading game for like 2 months after this is done. By the way, I'm out. The reading store is closed. It's just gameplay for fucking like I don't know. Right until Grand Theft Auto, I'm done. For the rest of the year, even I'm done. I'm no more reading. I have told you before, Peppino, that is not the way to describe a criminal mastermind. What about this hideout of yours? An old empty house behind the park on Lime Street. We rented the place for 2 days. It was an inspired idea by Capo here. An impulse idea, I would say. Remember 11 Malloy? Yeah, but at least it's someone else reading with me. No, not impulsive, inspired, Capo, the wrong fucking voice, I fucked it up again. What am I supposed to say to that, Peppino, especially when you talk like me? And it was in the house described that you just can't find Inspector Gregson, was it? We're all the French now, ugh, oui. But you have to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not the real inspector. That doesn't quite add up though. If you didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there? No, you are right, but we couldn't be completely certain. I'm the fucking guy from Agatha Christie now. Even though I didn't think he was the real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case. Too scared, why? Perot, yeah, Perot. Because why had he come to the park? We didn't know. There was a chance that he had seen through my plan. And if that wasn't the case, he would go straight to the police station to blow the whistle on us. Even if he was just feigning to be an inspector, he was up to no good, without a doubt. I think most people would agree that it's you two who were up to no good. I'm on their side, actually. I think it's fine. Well, let's see. You may be right. I don't think they did anything wrong. Hey, Capo. The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. That is why we had no choice but to take the man prisoner. What I don't understand is why the inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place. See, I asked myself the same question. We were writing down the names and addresses of all the people who we took 5 shillings from that day. I have forgotten what name he said, but the address, it startled me. See, address, Scotland Yard, Homicide Division, he said. What? He probably didn't like your face, Peppino. Anyway, I was not rude. I just politely asked him why he said it. And that's when he started to say he was an inspector. Not long afterwards, he took out his identification. What was Inspector Gregson playing at? Tell the court what happened next. If you took him back to your hideout, you say. Anyone got a good replacement for, like, I know this is going to be sacrilege to some of you, but I'm not sure if I can tank the amount of tomatoes that I put in spaghetti. Is there a good substitution for that? Like, what's the go-to? Like, if you don't want the tomato, carbonara? Isn't carbonara just that has tomato in it too? Is it just less? Have you tried pesto? I've tried pesto before, but not like in that level. Red pepper. Like the taste? No, I like the taste. It just gives me like some stomach acid. There's so much acid in tomato sauce that it kind of gets me off sometimes. That was the wrong way of saying that. It sets me off sometimes. Oh fuck! I'm so hungry. Emulsified olive oil, but what about the flavor? Cut it with the Pepto.
I don't know who's spaghetti, but when I do, it's with a literal fucking glass of Pepto-Bismol right next to it. This is my drink of the meal. Here we go. Cream, maybe? What kind of cream, though? Like, is there a way I could cut the tomato with something? Is that what you're saying? Or is there, like, an entire replacement that I just make spaghetti with bolognese without tomato? Go half and half with cream and add vodka? Okay, that could go hard, yeah. Oil and garlic, huh. Red wine, maybe? I think red wine would have the exact same problem. Highly acidic things set off stomach acid. Cooking stream time? Maybe we should, yeah. Maybe we should make a bunch of them and see. Everyone posts their favorite recipes and Jazz, and you decide, and then I can make them all and I can take a picture of them, and that is the genesis of our own Jazz Scrandle. I like the tomato though. The tomato adds a lot to it. Like the mix of like the ground beef and the tomato and the cheese is just such a good combo. Like the sweetness of the tomato is just like with the cheese is just, oh man, it's so good. So I want something that tastes kind of like that, but maybe there isn't a good replacement. Actually, just drinking something outside at work, like a glass of milk or something, I don't know. I don't really like drinking milk. It might though, I don't know. See, we took the man's identification from him and shot him in the next room next to ours. And what building were you in? The Fonzo Street, that being this identification book here, correct? See, that is the one. What made you believe that it was a forgery? I'd never seen a real one, of course. But he was so suspicious, this a man. Alora, this is something I think about a lot, is that when an official comes to you and says, hey, I work for FBI, CIA, whatever the Canadian equivalent is, here's my identification, just look at it and go, well, I don't know what the real one looks like, so maybe? It also, it fucks me up so much that law enforcement's allowed to lie to you. Because if they're allowed to lie to you, how can you trust anything they say? Yeah, you're under arrest. Yeah, but you're allowed to lie to me. Not about that though. Is that a lie? It's like, I understand why, because like you need to be able to lie to do certain jobs, especially in social situations. But at the same time, like, what the fuck? Did you see that when I ordered my overpriced CPU, they only packed one 10-gram bag of Haribo Gold Bears with it? Recession indicator? Oh shit! I'm sorry, Balder. I'm sorry. That is a recession indicator. Yeah. I have ice cream for dessert, and it'll cancel out the tomato sauce. I'm a scientist, so it will definitely work. I do like Halo Top ice cream. Fuck. That's a lot of calories though. Like the spaghetti is already like over my calorie budget for a meal, and then I have to follow it with like fucking like 400 calories of ice cream afterwards. I'm so hungry too. God damn it. What are you gonna have, Errol? Fucking hell. Can I even make it to the grocery store? I'm wilting away. I feel weak, man. I'm so hungry. I'm vibrating. I feel my stomach moving. I'm making a Thai red curry. That sounds good. God damn it. I'm making pasta because the stream is fucked up. I'm sorry, Mouse. Oh my god. When it comes to the curry, no one else is in such a hurry. Sorry, I'm sorry. Alora, I was thinking it must be falso. Hey, capo. Oui, it is just as Peppino has said. We were convinced it was not genuine. And so, together, the hilarious brothers, we took the man captive. All we did was shove him inside a locked room. And then he was dead. Then we made the preparations to transport all the money. In for a penny, in for a pound. Do you not have those cookies? I'm done. I ate them all. I buy like one pack every week or two, and I usually have like one during break. Yeah. I ate them all. I haven't gone back. I didn't get more. Fuck. There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm. And the next morning, we let him go. I have food. I just want spaghetti. What do you mean by a little tussle exactly? Boff, it was nothing. Just a minor incident. The Falzo Inspector, he was a real piece of the work. Hey, capo. What happened? Afa, it was a disaster. We gave him a nice room, and what does he do with it, In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the ventilator. Can you blame him? We chased him, Biencio, and we caught him again. And we knocked him over the head. Can you blame us? Get the fuck back here, Frey. Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you?
Who do you think we are? Of course not. Friends should not use guns. I simply caught hold of him again and took him back to the room.
Excuse me.
Mr. DeRossi, is something wrong? Me. Something Mr. DeRosso just said, it seemed to make you, it seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was it all about? Cavallo, at times like that, you don't want to have the capo after you, believe me. And I speak from personal experience. Personal experience? That is enough, Peppino. There is no need to say more. I'm getting more into the accent as it goes on. The truth is, the night before we put the Red-Headed League plan into action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run away. It's a shame you didn't manage it. But the capo here, he came after me like the turbine. What? And you dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruises to prove it. Hey, capo. Bruises, you say? You want to see? You want to see my fantastical bruises? Is that the same neck thing that was with what's his face? Gossip. Gossip went and okay, so the three of them were hired to do a whole fucking ruse cruise. That got the firecrackers from Venus, got Gossip to go and pose as the fucking detective outside, and then came at the fucking thing, and then came back, and then fucking like stand here and wait for the gunshot, and who the fuck knows what the other guy, maybe the other guy was just dragged along for it and wasn't meant to be there. Yeah. That's enough now, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you. Whoa. What to do? I show you, or I don't. I show you, or I don't. You do, now. Laura, if everyone wants to see, then I do it. Echo, you see, it is still very visible. All consensual, I assure you. That red ring around your neck. You got that when you were dragged back to the house? See, the capo, sometimes he is very rough, and that's enough. Peppino's neck has nothing to do with what we are actually talking about here. You have my word. Oh, yes. What is your opinion, counsel? About this red ring around Mr. Rossi's neck? I wonder, does it matter? Hell yeah, it does. Mr. Rossi, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with details about that mark on your neck. Hey, Capo, you see, everyone is interested in what I say. Get the fuck. Ugh. Very well, you will amend your testimony as requested, Mr. Rossi. See, if you really want to know. There's only 6 minutes left in Streamium before Joe can go and make the pasta, but he has to go to the fucking store, which is like an hour away, there and back. And also, I don't have time. He tried to escape, but the capo put the collar on him and dragged him back. Wait, the collar? Like he did to me, see? Collar? Are you saying that red mark was caused by... See, a big collar made from the leather. A leather collar? Is this true, Mr. DeRosso? What? We had a Saint Bernard at home when I was younger. It is a souvenir from that time with a very strong chain. A strong chain? And you put that around your friend's neck? This is not my friend. I'm sorry, I was so angry that he was leaving me alone. You did not have to tie the chain to the leg of the bed. Though, I would not have tried to run again. What are we doing? You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you? Treat the people equal, is the capo's here motto, It's starting to sound a lot more like a prison all of a sudden. The capo is a tough, but the capo is a rough. I shouldn't have done it. So the following morning, when you released the inspector, he had a red ring around his neck, just like me. Peppino, s'il vous plaît, leave it now. See who play? You always tell me to go and see this Vu, and he's so good at playing, but I never find him in any of the orchestra houses around here. Now you know, the capo here, you don't want to tangle with him, but for the inspector, it's not so bad. He spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like a prison, really. You took away a man's freedom. However comfortable you make it sound, you were still holding him prisoner. If you say that, then I say this. There's something that takes away our freedom too, the lack of money. You got a point. And so we are the prisoners as well, all of us prisoners to capitalism. Huh? No money, no freedom. This is the truth. No body, no crime. It makes me mad and it makes me sad. What can we do? Well, if you feel so disenfranchised, take money to court. Though it'll cost you. Kazuma, what the fuck? My boyfriend can't be this cringe? What the fuck, man? Uffa, there you have it. You see, that is why we need the Red-Headed League to fight for the justice. Perhaps he has a point? No, Mr. Naruhodo. All we did was give the man a comfortable place to sleep for the night. And you say it was a prison, Perhaps he has a point again. No, again, Mr. Naruhodo. You should have heard him snoring. My day, if anyone was disturbed, it was us. We are the real victims here. Please mess up and present incorrect evidence during this cross-examination at some point for me. Oh, you're extremely grateful. Sure. What do I want to do? Not much to go on, really. The testimony does make you wonder, you know, about this pocket watch belonging to the inspector. I mean, yes, the one he treasured so much, apparently. If he was confined but not restrained, as the witnesses are implying, he would still have been able to wind his watch. Really? That's what we're going with. Really? That's very true, yes. Yeah, that's so true. So did Inspector Gregson actually die while being held captive by his redheads? In which case, it is possible that these two young men are responsible for Inspector Gregson's. I hope I have my time correct, but if not, you can volcano me? What the fuck does volcanoing mean? But to be honest, I find that hard to believe. Perhaps you should try to find out exactly what happened. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo, yes. Okay, so we want to put incorrect evidence. Does it matter, like, what it is? Because I'll just do I'm a lawyer.
Objection.
The witness's last statement is clearly contradictory when you consider this piece of evidence here. Yes, undeniably. You say it's undeniable, counsel, but I fail to see any contradiction here at all. I think perhaps that itself is the contradiction. Indeed. Time for a rethink. It wasn't it. It wasn't it. I was wrong. This is part. I'm sorry. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I didn't think it was a real detective. He was just scared to let me go that day just in case. This is the prisoner just in case. We took the man's identification room next to ours. He tried to escape, but the cabo put a collar on him, driving him back to. Okay, I wanna like say that it was the other guy with the neck, but it's not there yet. Does it want me to just put the watch against like it wasn't like a prison? Then why wouldn't he round his watch then? He doesn't have any marks on his neck.
Objection.
So the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was only... My greatest apologies. Now you're bringing up cheese when I want pasta? What the fuck? Why just roast and woe? However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains. What consistency is this, counsel? I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see that there is no red ring visible around his neck. But that makes no sense. It was me who took the collar off the man in the morning, and I saw the red bruises on his neck, just like I have. Given that the mark is still clearly visible on this witness's neck, we'd expect to see bruising on the victim who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. DeRossi. Indeed, this is most peculiar. But that what I tell you, we say this from the beginning, many times. Oui, Peppino is right. The man is in the photograph. It actually is him. I was just rougher with Peppino because, you know, tradition is someone different than the man we had captive that night. Order. I'm gonna make some mac and cheese from scratch. You're gonna milk a cow? Holy shit. It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all. If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself. Oh shit, I did. And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed League in his diary from that day. Get owned, Kazuma. You're so owned. Get fucked. You should have been on this side with us, but no, you chose to be all over there by yourself, like a Mr. Grumpy Pants. Don't like you anymore, which surely means that we can't divorce the two events completely. Hashtag exclamation mark divorce. The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson who these two redhead gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising could be seen around his neck defies explanation. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of real Inspector's identification? Does the defense have some plausible explanation, counsel? The whole thing defies explanation. It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruhodo, because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie. I mean, they did last case. No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point something so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. They lied a lot last case. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record, I believe. Okay, it's this part. I meant this part. Can you present the wrong person? Okay, all right. Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruhodo. So why don't you help us all to see whatever truth is that you've apparently seen? Who exactly is this inspector that appeared before Mr. Russo and Mr. Rossi? Okay, so you want me to do Gregson himself, or you want to do an imposter and then do the wrong person? Imposter, okay. You're a cheeky little imposter, aren't you? Though it seems incredible, I admit, the undeniable facts point to the only one thing. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person who these two red headmen took prisoner that day could not have been the Inspector Gregson. In other words, Sumari, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time. On the contrary, I haven't finished. What? I've finished. There's no bruising on the victim's neck. So the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was this man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification? See? That's alright. We tell the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the capo dragged him from a pillar to a post with the dog collar. Mon Dieu, Peppino, I was not so harsh as you say, huh? So who was that the falso inspector, eh? Who was he? Clearly, the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the man these two imprisoned that night. I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post haste. Who did the witnesses encounter in the park posing as Inspector Gregson?
Take that!
Sherlock Holmes! It's surely no secret. This is the identity of the imposter. Oh really? On what grounds? Well, I said it was no secret, but that part is. Dear me, if ever penalty was in order, it's now I feel. Like the punishment, the capo can lend you his collar if you want, Oh, perhaps my learned friend needs to experience what it feels like to be dragged around the streets by the neck. I'll use my imagination, thanks. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I would very much like to see that. The red ring produced by the collar is clearly the crux of the matter here. Thank you, Errol. Yes, the bruising around the neck. Kazuma, what is fucking wrong with you? What is right with you? I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post haste.
Take that!
Goodness me! Isn't that one of the witnesses who was in the stand this very courtroom earlier today? A nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passers-by. What on earth would a street seller be doing with a police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses, is this the man or not? Why do we have a photo of him? What has happened to his lip? Ah. See, this man is not for the red-headed league. Hey, he is looking for the twisted lip league. No. Perhaps rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. Ooh. It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noted something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising. What? The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. And put the wig on him. Put the wig on him. Wig on him. Dress him up. Dress him up. Order. Bailiff. Bring the aforementioned witness back into the courtroom. Immediately. All right, is this a good place to stop? Or is there a good place to stop like 20 minutes from now or something like that? What are we doing? Well, I never. An undeniable ring of bruising, indeed. And identical to that of the witness beside him. Now what's going on here, eh? I've always had this meat. It's a birthmark, innit? Are we about to go into a recess or the end of the trial, though? Or because that would be a better safe spot. Or is this going to go on for like another hour? I'm afraid this room must starve. Don't starve, my favorite game. We are close to the end of the trial, I think. 10 minutes more? Alright, 10 minutes more, okay. A birthmark, you say? I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you. Something about an inspector again. But I'm telling you, you've got it all wrong as usual. You're denying all knowledge of it? Well, of course I am. Are you trying to kill me with all this nonsense, eh? Well, at least you'll have more stories to peddle back on Fresno Street, won't you? Now, we're going to need you to testify again. No testify! Just like, no, Reese. And you, Mr. Du Rousseau and Mr. De Rossi, I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? Do we have any choice? We are in a big trouble, eh, capo? That's not true. There's no recess for a while. Well, that's quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with this testament. Yeah, there is quite enough dilatory chatters. Yeah. Fucking hell. Can't believe I fell for the fucking 10-minute gambit again. Witness testimony. Fucking pause. Save it. No, I want to save it. Okay, we're saving. Alright, so I said I was gonna stream for 4 hours. It's been 4 hours and 8 minutes. 9 minutes. You got 9 extra minutes out of me. Alright, anyone live from the community to rate? Walrus is live. We're rating Walrus. I'm putting my socks on so I can put my shoes on so I can get out the fucking door and get some food. I'm multitasking. I'm so hungry. Alright, here we go. Are you having pasta? I don't know. I don't know if I can make it to the grocery store and back. I'm so hungry with these hunger pains. Please share pics when you get it. I'm not sharing my cooking to the community. Are you fucking insane? Do you know how people get? It's like sharing like fucking hygiene habits and code. No fucking way. DM it to me so you can leak it. All right, we'll be back tomorrow for more Ace Attorney. Hopefully the streamer is not so hungry this time. And then we're going to finish this week. If we finish early miraculously, I guess we'll just use Slay the Spire or something on Friday. But yeah, Forgotten City's on Saturday. We'll probably do Forgotten City Friday and Saturday if we finish early on Thursday, but I don't think we're going to. I will possibly start earlier on Thursday and Friday if we need to extra time. Or go a little bit later on those days, but not too much later. I do want to keep it. I can't really read for much longer, so yeah. Show it to Microsoft Copilot 365 and ask it to summarize it for August. Okay. Finally, an ethical use for AI. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much. Hopefully, I wasn't too whiny about being hungry, and the jokes weren't too bad because again, I'm so hungry. But yeah, see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you very much, chat. Happy birthday, Gatsby. Happy birthday, Annie. They're calling him the hungriest streamer alive. See you later, everyone.